Hello and welcome everyone to day 3 of the Haunted Holidays charity game stream benefiting Diversity Saves. My name is Daniel Gonzalez. I am the co-founder and president of Diversity Saves, and here I have with me Mads, Mariko, Marcos, and Brian, who are going to be joining us for a game of Raging Grannies. Diversity Saves is a 501c3 nonprofit organization working within the TTRPG industry to help uplift and enhance the voices of marginalized communities. We are a grant-giving organization that, with the help of generous donors such as yourself, provide grants to projects and marginalized creators who are helping to enhance diversity and inclusion in our space. If you're interested in applying for a grant, our grant window is now open. We are accepting new grants until March 1st of next year, and then we'll be doing a round of grant writing after that to give grants away. So if you want to apply, go ahead and head over to diversitysaves.org. You can find all of the information about our organization there, as well as apply for a grant yourself if you do have a project that you think applies. It is very quick little application at first that will then lead into the longer process. It's all very, very straightforward. We try to make it as accessible as possible. So please, we do encourage anyone who's interested to apply. That being said, we're here to help raise funds for both our grant giving process as well as our other charitable activities. So we hope you enjoy our game today of Raging Grannies. Mads, you can take it away.
Okay, so hi, I'm Madeline Colley, Mads for short, she, they pronouns. I'm so glad to be here for the Haunted Holidays charity stream. And yes, I will be running Raging Grannies, written by Alicia Furness. It is essentially a transition game of sorts between D&D and Brindlewood Bay. So we're going to have like a team of elderly adventurers trying to rid the world of evil between Tea and Bridge. So I just want to go ahead and, say it's like, you can find me on YouTube. I have my channel Madeline Colley, where I have some actual plays of different games, like The Between, some trophy in the form of Allura and other incursions and Paranormal Incorporated and other such things. So hopefully people will, come and check it out. And let me popcorn it over to Mariko.
Hi, I'm Mariko. I'm on the board of Diversity Saves. I also do some work with the Dungeon Cast podcast, which is kind of cool. And I do art sometimes and post it on Instagram at mariko.draws.stuff, where I do indeed draw stuff. Let's go to Brian.
Hi everyone, I'm Brian. I am the co-host of the Dungeon Cast, a TTRPG podcast. Covers D&D and other things as well. And I love to play games and roleplay. So I'm here for this for sure. I'm happy to be here to help with the Diversity Safe stream. Thanks for having me. Marcos.
Hey, I'm Marcos. I also do art and stuff, and you can see it on Instagram under Chemicals. All right.
Okay, awesome. All right, so again, we are playing Raging Grannies. I'm going to go ahead and do a little round of cats for our audience so they know what the game is about. And we, of course, set expectations out on the table so we know kind of what we're leaning towards when we play this particular game. So let's see. Give me half a sec. Okay. So CAT stands for Concept, Aim, Tone, and Subject Matter. As per the designer's description, concept is Raging Grannies is a game of fantasy fighting grandmas, ridding the world of evil between Tea and Bridge. The aim is for the characters to use the wisdom of age and a lifetime of experience to rid the world of monsters, usually human, and ageism, also usually from humans. And the tone, it can go anywhere from Conan the Barbarian to Men in Tights. I personally hope for a relatively happy medium between the two. I appreciate characters living in the world they inhabit, but not really into the gritty, grimdark, or all-out anachronous humor. Subject matter, depending on the tone set, there may be some subjects sensitive to folks. Given our safety tools, we will do our best to avoid triggering subjects. So safety tools that I normally use are the X card. So if anything comes up objectionable in an unfun way, please make the X in the video or say X card out loud. We'll stop play, find out what needs to be X carded, and then we will take it out and move on. We will not ask why things are X carded. We also have open door policy. So if for whatever reason this game isn't for you, then of course, just open door and then just say it's like whether you're like stepping out for the scene just for a little bit or if you're completely stepping out of the game. And again, we will not ask you why. I will take breaks, so no worries on that. And then there's also script change. So like, of course, if you need to pause, just check in, that's fine too. I definitely, encourage like, the use of pause, rewind, and fast forward if we just want to just buzz through something and then just, go forward. And then also lines and veils. I do have a safety tab in the character keeper that I'm using for this game. And we have some lines, which are things we will not include in the game whatsoever. And veils, which are things we're going to possibly mention, fade to black though. Okay, so not fully role play out. Lines include homophobia, racism, sexual assault, sexual violence, and transphobia. And veil is graphic gore. So like anything triggering like a medical surgical description, like we won't get far into for sure. Okay. And then this is a living document. So if there's any changes or additions, like please let me know. We'll stop play and then just kind of review them. Or, again, no problem in pausing to ask first. It's like, is this okay? Always check in. All right. So with that, going over safety, we have this game, again, kind of a transition between D&D, a lot of stats, versus this game, which doesn't have a whole hell of a lot of them. We have our grannies. The stats that we're going to be using are guts, how brave and strong you are, stories, how knowledgeable and personable you are, hustle, how quick you are on your feet or with your words, and grit, how much you can take. This is essentially a 1d6 system, so not complicated whatsoever. And, maybe in the case of disadvantage or advantage, then maybe I'll ask for 2d6, and then we'll take the highest or lowest, depending. And we've already gone through a session 0 on this, so the players have created wonderful characters, so like we want to go ahead and introduce them. So mention your character name and pronouns, your career, your fighting style, and your hidden talent. And then we will go through of how these little old ladies are relating to each other. All right, so let me start from left to right on my character keeper. Marcos, please introduce us to Ruby.
All right, so I'll be playing Ruby Manzanares, she, her. And do I need to go over stats or anything like that, or just straight into the other stuff?
Straight into the other stuff. Yeah. Like we'll find out like how the stats are distributed through play.
Okay, so Ruby has long been a hunter for the village, and she really knows how to take advantage of her environment and of like the natural tools in reach. So her fighting style is the weapon for any occasion, with the hidden talent of growing strange plants, things that she finds while out on the hunt.
Excellent. Let's go over to Miyaki.
Okay, so I'm playing Miyaki Okono, she, her pronouns. She is the town guard, is or was. Well, I guess we'll find out. And fighting style, long point sticks, poking people from a distance, which is perfect. And my hidden talent is knitting ugly sweaters, specifically out of burlap sacks, which she hoards.
And last but not least, Hilda.
Hilda Braganport, she, her. I am a mercenary, so I imagine that I go odd jobs for the town that we live in. I use comically large weapons and my talent is that I rescue tiny monsters.
We'll see how these come in handy later. So there are some relationship questions that the characters were answering of each or asking of each other. So I'd love to hear from each of the characters going around again, the relationship questions that you asked each other and the answers that you got, because then we'll be able to see like kind of how they relate in this particular world. All right. So Ruby, go ahead and let us know about your 2 questions and who answered them.
Let's see here for my questions. Miyaki annoys me so much when she's hassling me at the town gate because I've only been gone for like a week on this hunt, and I come back and it's like, you remember I just left, like let me back in. And for Hilda and Ruby met long ago. They've known each other the longest. We met back on our coolest adventure, where we brought back our first strange plant and tiny monster.
It was so sick.
Yeah, it was great.
Nice.
Cool.
All right. And Miyaki.
Miyaki is and Ruby's habit of maintaining a 7-foot distance at all times is most endearing to me.
And Hilda.
Ruby's habit of providing sustenance and housing for my collection of tiny creatures is the most endearing to me. When Miyaki did a big sweater making for the village, I admired it a lot. And I wear the sweater she made for me to this day.
Nice. Alrighty. So we also created the town that these PCs are living in. The name of the village is New Ocean Springs. And, well, let me do a little bit of an introduction into this particular village as we open up our adventure into, situation. All right, sorry. So, we open up into a setting. Birds are singing. Well, winter birds are singing as this is close to the holiday season. Snow is on the ground, and we enter into New Ocean Springs, a place great for adventurers and travelers alike to stop in for hot springs that are steaming in the distance and in bathhouses that are tastefully decorated, and hard candy shops filled with soft strawberry jelly or caramel near the sea for trade as we hear the crowds come in and out seeking rest and rejuvenation. There's also saltwater taffy here, so there are people that are going about and, well, stretching their jaws as they chew this wonderful, flavorful stuff. It is a safe and fun place here. The tagline for the town name is New Ocean Springs. Candy makes people happy. And, of course, in the distance, for this very happy place, there is an active volcano. So, slight worry, but people seem to still have fun here. And our little grannies meet for a weekly meeting. I would imagine in the upper loft of the local tavern and sweet shop. What does your weekly meeting look like, ladies?
Miyaki calls these weekly meetings together because she does a refresher on the proper paperwork procedures to enter and exit the town. Because these two ladies and probably many others are not quite up to standard. So she's probably tried to arrange everybody at a very wide distance apart. I don't know if they're actually sitting far apart or not. That'll be up to them. But she's Miyaki is probably at the front of the presenting to them, big piece of paper with her easy 20-step acronym listed out for everybody to see.
And what is the 20-step acronym?
It just says big vertical letters. It says, please have your papers, which stands for prepare lists of everything always, save everything, handle all variables, even your own unpredictability. Remember, papers, assignments, passports, embarkment requests, and certificates spelled with an S.
Suggested spelling. Always handy in a town guard, of course.
Very easy.
So, what do these wonderful little grannies look like? As you enter into the meeting, or like Miyaki resides over the table, please describe your characters.
Okay, Miyaki is a small, very stern-looking woman with a perm, very tight perm, and kind of a permanent frown. But she really, it's not her fault. She has a permanent frown. She's not mad at everybody all of the time. But it's great.
What keeps the permanent frown on her face?
I think that's just how she looks. She has resting bitch face.
Oh no.
She's really lovely.
Oh goodness. Well, her friends adore her. As these friends approach the bench, approach the table, what do you look like?
I can go with Ruby. I think Ruby's got like long hair pulled back into like a long ponytail kind of thing. And Ruby's got a more gentle face. I don't know what else.
What is your weapon of choice for today?
Today, I mean, it's always kind of whatever I can get my hands on, but I probably right now just have like I'll keep bits and bobs of like strings and other things so that I can utilize whatever I find real quickly, you know, keep a string that maybe I can stick on a stick and make a quick bow or something. But I might just have like a walking stick to start.
Okay. Nice. And Hilda?
Hilda is pretty tall, like 5'11" and 3/4, and she has broad shoulders, and kind of a long torso with like for her build, and she's got, I want to say, like long wavy hair and a big old sweater that covers everything, like pretty much down to the knees, almost like kind of parka like, and it looks pretty filled out, more so than her, even though her build is large. The sweater suggests that there are things underneath that are being kept secret. Particularly my favorite weapon, which is in my dominant hand, right sleeve. It's a big hammer. It's like a big cartoon, like Looney Tunes hammer.
Nice. Right.
Mouse running around on my left shoulder. It kind of like tucks in and out of the big sweater. But she's kind of got a pleasant demeanor, a little bit aloof looking face, like kind of like that, always smiling, like, and that's typically how the villagers see Hilda until it's time for mercenary stuff. that the villagers rarely see.
I think as Miyaki calls the meeting to order, I think up the stairs comes Mikalem, the tavern owner who also provides samples of his latest sweets. So Mickey will usually have like some sort of sampling plate, and he will usually ask for your approval, like all of you at this weekly meeting, because he knows that you meet up here. I mean, like, he's agreed to it. So long as you don't smash the chairs on each other when you're training, he's totally cool with it. And he will bring over 3 turned mugs of something that smells sweet and fruity. And then he will also have this sampler plate for each of you. I would like to know what is in your tankard, your stein, and I would like to know what is the favorite sweet that he normally knows that each of you likes.
We keep the turn order kind of established already. Mariko, Marcos, and me keep things rhythmic.
Yeah.
Sure. So in Miyaki's mug, I think is some sort of floral tea with honey. And the treat is probably a hard candy of some sort that she can put into her pockets or bags and save for later. And it's on, can it be on a napkin? And she just wraps up the napkin and sticks it in her pocket.
Yes.
Perfect. And she also grabs any other extra napkins that are on the tray as well.
Okay.
Okay. Ruby. I mean, I think. Depending on how late. No, probably coffee. Probably coffee, regardless of the time. A cup of coffee and like a sweet bread. Maybe like one of these gingerbread pigs. And I think that each meeting, Ruby always makes sure that Mickey like also provides some bowls or plates and like some utensils, because she's always got to like bring a dish with some food to the meeting and make sure everyone eats.
What did you bring this time for this week?
It's winter, it's cold, probably something in like the pozole range.
Ooh.
Something more soupy and warm with a lot of spice.
I knew you did this. I smelled it, and I knew that it was gonna go really good with this gingerbread that you like so much. And what does Hilda get?
Is a creature of extreme habit, so it's a hard candy. Also, it's 2 salted caramels, like it's a salted caramel hard candy, and the drink is also. Was the drink served here, or did I bring my own?
That's a question for you. I mean, like Mickey knows that you guys meet weekly, obviously, so he wants to provide. But do you bring your own, or do you take what he offers?
I'll probably have waited for Mickey's. He makes me a hot salted caramel latte with whipped cream on top, and I take the 2 candies and I pop one in my mouth and put one on the table, and I take out my large hammer and dust from the candy and put it in my front sweater pocket, and my mouse crawls in there and just starts going to town.
Mickey will Mickey will wink at you a little bit and then just kind of show you a side pocket of his, and then show you that he's got like a kind of like a cookie treat, knowing that you have usually one of your tiny monsters with you. So probably a shortbread. Yeah, probably shortbread.
The mouse loves the shortbread.
Yeah. So, if you want to discuss anything like while you're here at the weekly meeting, that's fine. I'm going to wait until there is a particular lull before I introduce what is exactly happening. So I don't know if you want to say anything to each other at the moment.
Sure. So how's everyone's family?
Oh, good.
Hilda has a big whipped cream mustache on her face. Seems like blissfully unaware of it.
Miyaki is using her long point stick to point at her paper. And so yes, they're good. They're good. My grandkids are great. I'm assuming yours are all as well. Remember, please have your papers. Let's all together.
Uh-huh.
Please.
Leave
Always the papers.
everything at. Just trying to remember without reading it. Just did you hear about what Ron did at that one winter festival party last week? Just start gossiping over here while faking listing the thing.
Yeah, I didn't. Please tell me more. And here, Miyaki. And I take out like a very, very oversized folder full of my paperwork, and I put it on the table. It's all here. You can check it again if you really want to. Although we're not going through any gates right now. But if you really need to spit it, please.
Yes, what? Miyaki looks at it's a jump. I'm assuming it's just a jumbled pile. She goes,
yeah, even in the pockets, it's like papers are like falling out of it basically when I take it out and I'm not paying attention. There's like stuff in there that shouldn't be, like receipts for like whatever I've been knitting or something.
Oh, just no. It just takes it and starts fiddling and reorganizing everything.
I look at Ruth while that's happening. It's like, I thought that'd keep it busy. He said, tell me more. What happened?
Before you get to the gossip, I just want to mention that in the midst of these papers, there is a flyer for a seniors retreat, spa and sun weekend. And it's for a fortress that's past the woods near New Ocean Springs. So you just happen to find that in Hilda's jumble of paperwork.
Ooh.
So what's the goss? Ruby, tell us.
Man, I don't know how to name people, so I'm just gonna say brought the same dish that did, but like and then she thinks that she stole the recipe, and then like just nah.
Oh gosh, can't be.
I know.
So embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
Good recipes out there. Was it 2 casseroles?
The very same too.
Always the same 2 casseroles every party. What party was it? How come I wasn't there?
You weren't?
Wasn't I?
You know. Oh, you know what? I'll bet it's because last year when we were at Fernand's party, your squirrely friend there hopped out, and remember they ran up the tree, and then it was just the falling over and the reattainment, and the one ornament got cracked. I think she's still carrying that grudge.
You know, there was an owl in that tree. I was so worried for my little squirrel. I could have ripped that thing right out of the ground. I could have. I actually held back that day. I held back.
I know. But you know how they get.
I do know how they get. How's it going over there, Miyaki? Is everything all right? Is all the papers as should be?
Miyaki is not has organized the papers, but has kept some and also somehow added some. So it's like maybe at least another half as tall as it was before.
Cool.
What did you do with the flyer about the seniors retreat?
I looked at it. I shook my head because who has time for vacation? But I put it on the top.
I'll grab for work back, and I'll see like the two piles. Like, oh, it's silly me. I always put way too much stuff in here without thinking. I'm so sorry, but this I got from the town paper boy the other day, handing out pamphlets. It's a flyer for a seniors retreat. Did you happen to see that?
Miyaki is let's see. Yes, I saw. They were throwing them in the street. Waste of paper.
I think we should go. Sounds lovely.
I think at this point, at the notion of possibly going to the seniors retreat, you hear a pounding on the stairs, as if multiple people are in a rush to get to you all, and they are cloaked. They are just from the footfalls, it sounds young, but then there's like a skitter or a skip in their running that makes it seem like they are hampered in some way. And each one of them goes to you. Each one of these hooded, cloaked figures will go to each of you. And, you hear, Grandma, 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 Grandma. Ruby, it's your great grandson, Jaime. It's Miyaki's oldest granddaughter, Kana, and Hilda, it's Alita, your adopted grandniece. You don't see their faces just yet. They're still hooded, and they're all like clamoring for each of your attentions.
Oh,
Grandma, Grandma!
No, it was a cloak party today.
No, that's not it. Grandma. And then this is where Alita will take her hood down. She'll be the first to take her hood down. And you see what looks like someone your age or getting close to it. Alita's features are starting to become wrinkled. Her youthful eyes are starting to get bags underneath them, and her hair is turning white before your eyes.
Whoa, okay, costume party then, huh? That's interesting. What's the occasion?
Each of the other ones will take their hoods down and present to you an elderly cast or an aging cast. Ruby, like your grandson is... Grandma.
I told you to stay away from those.
It wasn't the spirits. I mean, I promise I wasn't doing the sniffing. I promise. This is something completely different. I don't know what happened. And Miyaki, your granddaughter, is her hair is usually like a brilliant dark black, and you see salt and pepper streaks through her hair as her eyes are sagging and her cheeks are getting hollow, and she grasps your forearms. I'm so sorry I'm touching you, Grandma. I'm so sorry, but this has happened. Look at my hands. They're getting old.
She just Miyaki grabs her little hands and turns them around and grabs her little face, and she's I told you to use sunscreen. I told you kids sunscreen.
It wouldn't happen this quickly. We were in the woods, and we were like searching for some of the herbs that Mother needed for stew, and this happened. They're all looking at you with horrified eyes.
Oh. I've never heard of this before.
Was like grabbing the face skin and like putting it, like inspecting a mask, and it's like coming to the slow realization that it's real.
Grandma, it's real. I mean, this would I put on this? No offense. I'm sorry. Would I do this to myself? I mean, like that Alita's kind of she's really into her appearance. They're all teens, so they're all like, quite concerned about their appearance.
Years. You said this was happening in the woods.
Yeah.
Was somebody there?
We didn't see anyone. I don't know what happened. We just started to get old. We were like looking at each other.
Where in the woods? Didn't ask Jaime. Did you pass the tree that looks like your uncle after the feast with the thing? Huh?
We did, but then it was like near the bushes, the 3 bushes that used to be there, but then now that there's the 4 spindly branches that have stuck out of the ground since the last festival of the Hamana.
Trying to think about anything out there that could have done anything.
I mean, we didn't eat anything. We didn't smell anything. We didn't do anything except for look for those herbs. I don't know what happened.
Did you have like a town healer or like a sage or something like that like we send people for like disease or magic or something like that?
The town cleric is usually like downstairs at this time, usually like in their cups, like enjoying themselves, having samplers of candy and also drinking. So
Who children? Who else knows about what's happened to you?
no one else. We didn't want to be seen like this, and like we came right up here, Grandmama, and just wanted to let you know that this happened.
Hey, darlings, why don't you take? I'll pull up some chairs for each of them, and
Each as they sit down, like each of them goes, "Oh, ow, oh my God, my knees!"
Yep, I did it. Trust me here, and I'll pull out some Tiger Balm. I'll be like, it's on your joints. I'm gonna go fetch the town cleric and have them. We'll respect your privacy. We'll have them come up here. Does that sound good? I'll look at Ruby and Miyaki.
As they're all rubbing like the Tiger Balm liniment
it's like here's a little something I put together of some various herbs and stuff in my garden. That's what I'll give.
Our light healing salves on us.
Mm-hmm,
Yep. Nice.
Yeah.
So the kids will apply the stuff. It's like, and then I think Kana will go, I'm so sorry, Grandma. Is this what you feel like all the time? I am so sorry.
Well, just looks and pulls out of her bag like a little, like she has knitted like a little like compression glove, and she goes, "Women in our family have bad wrists. Take this."
Oh, thank you, Grandma. And then she'll like liniment up like crazy, and then just like slip the glove on, and then just like you see the relief on her face, which is again like starting to age. Like she's like they're all starting to look like your contemporaries, right? So yeah, that would be great. Yeah, we didn't want to stop off where owner was. I mean, he kind of gets irritable like if we ask him for stuff. I mean, yeah. So you're welcome to head downstairs to the town cleric owner, and then ask them to help or come up and see about the kids. I mean,
gotcha. Yeah. Definitely go do.
As we walk down the stairs, I'm gonna say to Hilda, like, see, I told you when I felt it in my elbow, it was a bad omen.
You did say that. I remember.
Miyaki is just perplexed about how they got in without talking back into the town without talking to anybody. She said, I have to talk to Saul. They're not the town guards are slacking off.
It's true. Yeah, you were here, the greatest of the guards. So that might be why.
That's true. You weren't there to check their paperwork.
It's true.
All right. So, were you going to talk to Saul Miyaki? Were you going to talk to your boss? And were the other two going to just stop off and ask owner to look at the kids?
No, I'll stick with them.
Okay.
No, you know what? Before we left, I definitely would have grabbed a bowl for each of them and just been like, okay, sit down, eat. Here you go. And given all the kids a bowl.
Yeah, they would have all once they linamented. But anyway, rubbed the liniment on themselves. They would have been hunched over, pulled up to the table and hunched over, and then just been like,
and then we go.
Thank you, Grandma. And then clutching the little bowls and sipping as best as they can. And yeah, you head down to owner, who's in the middle of this crowd of people on one table in the corner, and they seem to be a bit in their cups more deeply than anybody else. Obviously they got started early, and they're telling a raucous story of the last time that they had gone adventuring, and about how one of their fellow clerics had gone on ahead to check out to get the lay of the land, and they were scoffing about that was a dumb idea. It's like somebody has to hang back and make sure everybody else is okay. But anyway, you see them. They're very tall. They are they're retired. They're not really in armor anymore. But I mean, they just have that carriage of somebody who has worn armor for a long time, and then just recently doffed it. So not used to not having armor. A very weighted gait and weighted stance. But yeah, and they have salt and pepper hair and this weird mustache and beard thing going on. So that's usually the first thing that people remark. They don't see owner, they see their facial hair first.
Hello, owner. Your services are required upstairs. If I could pull you away for a moment, please.
It's the new look you have going on with the hair and the mustache and the
new pomade. And he's does the little smoothing out, and twirling a little bit, curls up and then curls out and such.
Well, as long as you like it. As long as you like it.
I do. Miyaki, you don't think it looks good on me?
That's she's just not working for you.
I'll have to work harder to impress you. But all three of you are here. Who do I need to see upstairs?
Just come on.
Okay, fine. And then he just kind of takes his mug and then just takes a big swig of it and says, "I'm coming back for more. Don't touch it. Don't put it away. I'm coming back." Slams it on the table and then heads up with you three. And then he's trying to get a handle on who am I seeing? I mean, you all three seem to be doing very well for what you're doing. I smell that liniment. Did you need some more?
Look, there's no easy to say this, so I'm just gonna come out and say it. But our grandkids showed up here, and they're old. They look old. Come on, just come on.
Teenage megrams. I mean, it happens. I mean, they grow up faster than you can think. It's just something. And as he's coming up the stairs, he sees all of them huddled over the soup, the pozzoles, and well, that's different. And then he pulls out his and then he has some like things that look like monocles and glasses and pince nez and whatever. Like, and he takes each one in turn and tries to look at each of them. I have never actually seen this before. What happened to you three? Oh.
I'll explain. Yeah, like they were in the woods and they don't.
Oh. You may. And then he kind of questions each of them, and then they tell him where they were. I have not heard of anyone else suffering from this malady, but it looks more like a curse rather than something medical. Have you thought to ask, or to look at the spot yourselves?
That's next on the list. Just wanted to get them checked out, make sure that there's nothing. No, I don't want them to turn to dust. Things are happening rapidly.
And I'm going to say that he's going to make some mystical passes over them and such. And then just kind of like you see like a kind of like a golden glow settle on each of their heads. And, you know, he kind of looks through one of his little contraption glasses at you all and says, well, I think I've circumvented this condition. I think I've stopped its progress. But you need to find out the source of this malady before my spell wears off, and then they continue to grow old.
I think as soon as it being a curse is mentioned right away, Ruby's just like, a curse, and then pulls out something and like splashes some like water off of something, and then like throws some little herb things of this and that, and like starts burning a little something and drops it.
And then he kind of looks on what you're doing, Ruby, and just kind of like, yes, okay. Is this also to stave off the effects of the curse as well?
Always with the curses.
Well, I mean, it's the closest thing I can think of. It happened suddenly, yes? I mean, like, they just came in here straight from the woods. I mean, what other explanation could there be? They said they hadn't eaten anything, drank anything, or chanted anything recently that could cause this.
I told them to use sunscreen.
That prevents some things, but this rapid aging is not something you want to, well, just lotion up for. I mean, this is something serious.
You sure you weren't doing those new chants, Jaime? Those new chants from the next town over? That all the kids over there have been chanting?
Grandma, if I was going to do some of those new chants, it's like I'd wait to see what the effects were first. I know it's like from like doing the whole plant thing. I get it. Like, you know, don't like just jump on the newest thing that's out there. I know.
Yeah.
But ow. Back.
Seems like it's gonna be. Kids just want to stay here while us grannies go take care of this for you. I pull out a big pack of playing cards that's like 3 times the size of normal playing cards, and I put them down on a table. I'm like, why don't you all play some bridge, and grandmas will go take care of it for you. Yeah.
Thank you, Grandma. That's appreciated. I don't think I can go out looking like this. And Alita will pull her hooded cloak like closer and over her head, so you can't see anything except her sipping her soup. And Kana will just nod and say, I'm sorry, Grandmapa. I mean, we were in just such a hurry. And she won't say anything, but she'll kind of look over at Hilda and say, we kind of took the shortcut into town. We didn't show papers.
I like freeze up and like slowly look over at Miyaki, which is
Her eyes just narrow. And she just and it very pointedly turns to owner, says, points her point stick at him. You be there 4th for bridge. and then walks out.
Of course, of course. And he'll settle down and just make sure that his spell will hold as you three will investigate what happened. So with the sketchy directions that Ruby got, past the tree, past the branches, and then from the last festival and such and so forth, I think Ruby can track where to start, maybe where they were. So we'll do our first roll of the game. And again, this is 1d6 to start. And actually, let's, okay, so I'm going to read off the donations that we've gotten so far. So $25 donation from Alex Valente, find a holiday themed magic item. I will mention that when they find it. And then a $15 anonymous donation, 1d4 to all players. So let's go ahead and let me roll 1d4. Give me a second. Usually I don't roll for these, so that's why I'm hesitating. I'm like, 1d4. Here we go. Let's see what you get. All right. Awesome. So keep 3 in your back pocket for when you really need it. Okay. So write down 3 somewhere. And then if you really need that roll, you get 3, you can add 3 to any roll coming up. Okay.
Nice.
So, alrighty. Yay. Okay. So, to make sure that you will be able to track where they were, let's see. You would use stories. That'll be for knowledge. Okay. So 1d6 plus stories.
This is me?
That's you.
All right. Here goes a d6. I got a 6 on the d6, and my stories is a 2.
Nice. Okay, so that's an 8. So the way this works is for any roll, whenever the outcome is uncertain, roll the appropriate stat, 1d6 and add your stat bonus. So if you're, I should have mentioned this before, but if your fighting style or hidden talent applies, you would add another +1, okay? But you didn't need it because you rolled really well. So 5 and 6, you succeed, 3 to 4, you can fail or ask to succeed at a cost, or a 1 to 2, a complication arises and you take a personal slight. The personal slights are important where you get at 5 personal slights, then you start to reduce one of the stats by -1. So, but you did so well. So I think from the sketchy directions that Jaime gave, you know where this is. So you can all go into the woods. Do you prepare in any way before you do this? Do you already have whatever armor / weapons or anything like that you need before you make this trek into the woods? Do you pack anything extra? That's what I'm asking.
I don't think we'll pack anything extra, but Miyaki goes and drops off their the required form to notify the town that they are leaving.
Got it.
And is doing it in a very passive aggressive way. To show Hilda exactly what you're supposed to be doing.
Gotcha. Do you stop off and talk to Saul at all?
I think I will try to go look and see if they look busy. And if not, maybe I will say hi. But if they look busy, I don't want to bother them.
Oh, they're just talking to somebody casually, they don't look like they're necessarily on duty, they're just kind of overseeing what's going on. And he will actually greet you with a wide smile and say, Miyaki, you're not on duty right now. Is everything okay?
Miyaki's frown becomes a little bit less frowny when Saul smiles at her. She kind of tries to fluff her perm a little bit, but it's very stiff. She says, no, we are, there's our grandkids are rapidly aging. So we're going to go investigate. I was just dropping off the required paperwork for our assignment.
That sounds serious. Do you need any help? Do you need any accompaniment?
Ruby and Hilda here are going, and we were just dropping off our paperwork, and then we will go, and we will report back when we come back to the gate, through the gate, like you're supposed to.
I can always depend on you to do what you're supposed to.
No bother. It's fine.
I don't even think you look at him. I think you just keep your eyes on his chest.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my god. So we don't really know what Soul looks like because Miyake's not looking up. It's great.
No. It's just a torso.
Just a nice broad torso.
A very nice looking torso. That's all.
There you go. Awesome. All right. So Ruby, you track past the town gates with all the paperwork, requisite paperwork, lodged and filed. It's great. What does the path look like outside of New Ocean Springs, especially with the active volcano in the distance? Going into the woods.
Well, right before we left, I think Ruby would have just swung home to grab some tamales and stuff, some food for people.
Got it.
And then I'm good to go.
Okay.
And then as we're going out, I think on volcano side. So let me see. I'm gonna say opposite volcano, away from the volcano further. We get more woodsy, more trees and things. Closer to the volcano, it's a drier landscape, a bit less full, and some trees that are more withery over there due to sulfurous waters and whatnot. So I think probably into a more woodsy part if there were herbs involved, depending on the kind of thing we're grabbing.
Right.
And these paths, see, there's not so many paths in the woods, but I know the paths in these woods.
You've probably made these paths in the woods. Does Hilda carry anything extra or different going into this into the woods?
I imagine Hilda as having everything on her all the time, sort of so not particularly anything extra. She takes out a big handed butterfly knife to cut down foliage as necessary. About it.
Okay.
It's very arduous looking, but she
Alrighty.
around all crazy, but it looked kind of like clippers, almost the size of it.
So am I assuming the order is Ruby for the tracking, Hilda for the path clearing, and then Miyake bringing up the rear?
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty. So I think as you're going through the woods and then following Ruby's path, I think you hear in the nearby, you hear what sounds like a and then you start to hear hoofbeats coming towards you. Do you stay on the path or do you hide? What do you do?
Is this a recognizable sound at all?
It might be a hunting call, but you're not sure because it's not one you've heard before.
I'm the local hunter. What's other people doing here? Well, I'm one of the local hunters, I guess, but I know the hunters.
Yeah, this is not familiar to you.
Not a regulation horn toot or whatever it was.
Not for New Ocean Springs.
Not for New Ocean Springs, no.
Strangers.
Wasn't a notion horn. It was something else. Should I blow back? I take out a giant horn.
If you want to, sure. But yeah, tell me if you're gonna stay on the path or if your guys are gonna try to take cover and hide.
You guys like, I'll do it.
Well, one of the things about Ruby is that Ruby don't got the hustle. So I think Ruby would just like stand ground.
Okay.
-1.
Miyaki will try to scoot her fellow elders along, hurting them a little bit with her long poke stick to try to get them out of the way of this strange call.
Like a no on the horn. All right, I'll go this way, I guess.
Yes, we know. Please leave all everythings and paper somethings every time. Trying to remember the acronym.
Yeah. So just trying to get us all kind of off the path, hiding a little bit so that we can see what these strangers are up to.
Okay. Let's see. For funsies, let me get a roll from each of you. For hustle, because you're trying to be quick on your feet. 1d6 plus hustle.
I got a 1 plus 1.
Got a 4 minus 1, so I'm a 3.
Okay.
3 minus 1. I'm a 2.
Miyake's just too busy trying to get everybody going. She's
Right.
not moving.
Okay. So, right. So I'm. Tell me what you think happens to Miyaki and Hilda to complicate getting, out of the way and or hiding. And for Ruby, tell me how you either fail to hide, like you're attempting it, but you fail to hide, or you can succeed at a cost. You tell me.
Who's going? My first?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm just gonna go with like we start to head off, then it's like, "Hi, Hilda, look at this tree," and it's like, "Look, it looks just like." You remember how she looked after that party last month when she had too much of the spice?
Look like trees. I really like that about you. And like Hilda's trying to push me along, like, and I'm distracted by the tree. Sorry, push me along.
Yeah, I mean, it's like herding cats. Miyaki is trying to get them as far into hiding as she can, but is not paying attention to where she is at all.
Right. I think that both Hilda and Miyaki trip over each other in like either looking or trying to hide, moving off the path, what have you. And then I think I'm going to say that Hilda and Miyaki give yourselves a personal slight. So under that personal slight counter, you like add 1, please. And then for Ruby, I mean, I think you're so fascinated with this tree that looks like, so and so that, you're not moving off of the path. You're just like kind of fascinated. It's like,
everything is an opportunity to gossip more.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So anyway, in this whole confusion, you hear the pounding of the hoofbeats much, much closer. And it is a set of 5 riders, also cloaked and hooded. And they're starting to make a pass around around all of you, setting up a ring, surrounding you all. They're all hooded. You can't see inside the hoods because they're like that, like, far out. They're that deep. But they look like they are all in leather armor or chainmail. And again, they are on, like, all of them are on these dark horses that they've ridden. And inside of one of the hoods, you hear, "Well, looky here, travelers. Let's see what kind of spoils we can get for today, boys." What do you do?
Um, hmm. Miyaki is gonna pull out. She has a can that's filled with buttons and rocks, and she's gonna pull it out and start shaking it at them. Like, no, how dare you?
The one who spoke is just like, you can see them start in their cloak, and like the hood, like, kind of like, does this weird, like, double take. And is that offering up some coinage for us, little lady?
Robbery is illegal.
I know, that's why we're doing it.
Being robbed, and I'll let my left hand come down, and I'll get like a huge pair of nunchucks will come out.
What's Ruby doing before I call combat?
I want to say, like, I mean, I feel like the thing is just someone like reaches for like her bag or something, and it's just like I like slap someone's hand.
Yes. Yeah. They haven't quite come off of their horses yet, but you can tell from what they said to Miyaki that they're getting ready to hop down and cause some shit. So, yeah. There is no such thing, or at least, like, I haven't done it. Like, there is no such thing as, like, turn order in this game. It's like, you tell me what you want to do, we'll do a roll, and we'll see how successful you are at doing it. So.
Okay. Miyaki is going to throw her can at the one who was talking to her.
Nice. So that would
rude.
be hustle.
Hustle.
Quick you are to be able to knock somebody maybe off their horse, or to hit them in the head.
Ooh, that's a 6 + 1.
Excellent. So that is a 7. So Miyaki, tell me, like, what happens when you throw your can and you hit dead center on one of these hooded people? Or are you hitting the leader?
I'm trying to hit the leader.
Fantastic. Okay, tell me what happens.
So pretty much as soon as he says, yes, that's why we're doing it, as in robbing you, it's just no. Just throw what she's got right at his face. And gets her long stick out, ready to poke people with it.
It hits him on the head. You hear the distinctive thunk and rattle of the can, and he just goes sideways off of his horse. Hilda, what are you doing? As some of these other folks seeing this happen, they're jumping off of their horses and now, like, advancing on you all.
I want to run crowd control and try to, like, I'll crack the bones in my neck and, like, stand up a little straighter to, like, show off my imposing figure. And I'll start swinging my nunchucks around, and they do, like, big whoosh noises. Like, they're really tanky. And I just kind of want to herd them into an area where they're, like, not surrounding us, pretty much.
Okay. I let you do it. Guts or hustle?
Definitely guts.
Okay. Sure. So 1d6 plus guts, please.
That'll bring. I rolled a 3. It brings me to a 5 for my 2 guts.
Excellent. So you succeed. Tell me, like, what happens as you do this crowd control. Like, what do we see?
I'm just sort of like swinging my nunchucks around the way like a martial artist would in like a threatening, big and slow, but it's so threatening looking. I'm sidestepping in ways to kind of bring like the figures surrounding us into like boxing them in between like a tree and a bush or something like that, sort of moving them and like herding sheep and not cats.
Okay. And Ruby, seeing this, as you see Hilda do crowd control, like, what are you up to?
Let's see here. I'm thinking using my knowledge of horses to like reach into my pocket and pull out a handful of like sugar cubes and like throw them in a direction to get horses moving in a way that throws people's how they're like if someone starts climbing down and then I throw a bunch of sugar cubes to get their horse to like turn around or something and knock them, make them trip,
Nice.
put
All right.
stuck in a thing.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
hopefully they don't get stepped on, but oh well. Go ahead and roll 1d6 plus stories, please.
That's a 5 total.
Nice. All right. You succeed. Tell me what this looks like as you're pulling out the the horse enticement, the sugar cubes. Are these special sugar cubes from town, like a special sweet?
They could be. We are such candy people. I think that they are like good on their own, but also I carry them for like slipping into my coffee and stuff like that if I need it. So they will melt, but they don't necessarily have to. They're stable enough to keep their shape, and so if these count as a weapon for any occasion, I could even have bumped it up to a 6.
Yeah, I'll take that.
But-
Yeah.
I'll just like, pull them out so that they like catch the horse's eyes and then do a quick chuck into like through some bushes and stuff or like some low branches where the horses can go to
For
get
the
them
ones,
moving.
yep, for the ones that haven't already gotten off of their horses, I think that they've been bucked off as the horses like will rear and then like, head towards the candy. And then the other ones who have gotten off of their horses watch as their horses all, do the gallop towards where you've thrown the sugar cubes, and will see their horses go out of control. So, yeah, the leader is off of the horse and unconscious from being knocked out. Hilda has boxed in several others, and then the ones who remained on their horses have gotten thrown off. So there's probably 2 of those. What else would you like to do here? You'd like to continue this fight, or...
I think Miyaki would like to restrain them somehow.
Okay.
And wrangle them up and tie them up so they can be delivered to town for whatever robbery punishment. Robbing old ladies is not cool.
No, absolutely not. If you want to say you either have something on you, or if you want to roll for finding something out here in the wild, in the woods.
I absolutely have strips of burlap sack.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You're like a walking burlap sack keeper. Absolutely. That's fine. Okay. So yeah, for the ones that you can restrain, you've like got them tied down, and the leader's still unconscious. Do you tie him up too with the rest of them?
What do the other 2 think? Should we tie him up? Yes.
Sounds good.
He was the meanest. My frown is more frowny. Like this guy. Yeah. Okay. We tie him up.
I think one of the conscious bandits will kind of yell out. It's like, "Oi, what you gonna do? You gonna leave us out here? There's like creatures in the woods and shit."
I'll smack that guy on the back of the head and say, "Watch your language."
Oh, you can't leave us out here.
Should we interrogate them? Like, should we figure some stuff out? Or
That is up to you.
Oh, we could ask.
I'll talk to them. It's like I'll say, you make a fair point, but I'm of no moral obligation here. Why don't you tell us what you're up to trying to rob some little old ladies?
I'll leave it up to you. You can roll with stories or hustle.
I'll roll with stories just to see how it goes.
Okay.
I got a 3 out of 0, so 3.
Now you can either take that as a complicated as a fail or a complicated success with a cost, or you can add that 3 that you had earlier that you can add to any roll and make it a success.
I have a question about the 3. Am I allowed to take shave points off of it, or do I have to spend the 3 at once?
Oh no, you can totally shave points off of it if you want, for sure.
Yeah, I know a 3 would give me a success for sure out of 6. If I sense some hesitation, I'll spend the 3, and I will. I'll say to them, or I could, break all your bones. And as I pull my hammer out.
Oh, okay. What do you want to know?
What are you doing out here robbing old ladies? Why aren't you at home taking care of your families, working hard?
Oh, we are family. We just trying to take care of each other in the only way we know how. Getting stuff from other folks.
Got classes at the rec center that'll help you develop skills, make you better at being a part of society. You don't have to be out here in the woods robbing people. Listen, I've got a little bit of an issue. If you help me, I could maybe help you out. Know of anybody that's been cursed out here lately?
And then they'll put, like, they're restrained, like, so they're probably all tied together, but they'll like put together their heads as best as they can and like whisper amongst themselves. And it's like, yeah, Drago over there said he saw one of his mates like looking I don't know, old or something. I don't know what's been going on. It only happened recently.
I'll walk over to Drago. I'll drag my hammer on the ground menacingly as I do it.
And Drago's like, he's the spindliest of all of them, like, in his cloak, and he just kind of like looks and just kind of like, yeah, my mate Tim, he went a little bit old, and he was out in the woods somewhere, and he says he didn't eat or drink anything, and he just came out looking like an old stud like you.
I'll pat him on the face like that. That's all you know, dear?
Yeah. Looking at the hammer.
I'll defer now to because it feels like we kind of got the information that we're gonna get from them. So I'll defer to Ruby and Miyaki on what to do next.
I'll ask if like he was wandering beyond the tree that looks like from the summer, that one barbecue when they had too much of this and that. The one.
Okay. Like the one that was talking before. Okay, so we know that patch as the sky ponds
fell over and landed in the thing and spilled it everywhere.
Okay, it sounds like you're talking about past the four oaks and the tree that looks like the woman, and tries to do a shape like with his restrained hands, and
That's what I said. That's what I said.
okay, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, Tim was over by the sky ponds, and he saw something, he said, but yeah, don't know what that's about, and yeah, he came back looking like an oldster. Yes. Can you let us go now? I mean, do we have to stay like this?
Miyaki will put a little layer of sunscreen on all of their faces and then say, "Let's go."
Okay. Hilda will just shrug and yeah, maybe
Well,
when you're out here in the woods, I just walk away with Miyaki.
we'll get you on the way back. It takes, like 4 or 5 days maximum there and back. It shouldn't be a problem.
And all of their eyes go really wide. The leader's still unconscious, but I mean, everybody else is like, and then, yeah, I mean, like, you just leave them where they are.
A quick walk. It's nothing.
We'll be back soon. We all slowly shuffle off.
Yeah. And so you shuffle onward, like past the two landmarks that you know about Ruby. And you find yourselves at this particular place. It looks like a grove of trees that are surrounding what look like little ponds. The ponds are not very wide. They're like probably maybe about 3 or 4 feet wide, semicircular. Like there's no like just like a natural pattern. Like they're not man-made, and there's just kind of like a damp grass ringing each one. It's the holiday season. It's like, there's not really snow here, and the canopy of the forest has kind of peeked through. So wherever there's a pond, it looks like it's reflecting an opening in the canopy, and it reveals itself to the sky. So you see fluffy clouds like up ahead and like blue sky for right now. So no storms or anything like that overhead. And the ponds, strangely enough, don't look like they're frozen over, even during this cold snap. So,
Do we see anything amiss or any people around?
no people. Shafts of light again from the openings of the canopy kind of like shine down on each of these pools, reflecting the sky. Maybe at 1 or 2 of these, there's like a little burble, as if there's something underneath the surface. What would you like to do? And beyond this, I think you know, Ruby, that beyond this grove of the sky ponds is like the patch of herbal plants that the kids might have been foraging in.
Just beyond this. This reminds me of that adventure we had. You know the one.
I know.
Guy looking down and seeing the sky. Oh, that was quite a... And then, up in the ground. Oh.
Memory's not as good as it used to be, but I'll never forget that.
Mountain rumbling. That was great.
Shook you. Was I?
I guess we should go investigate the patch of
Yes.
the herb patch.
I want to get a roll from each of you as you're making your way around these little sky ponds. I want to get a roll for hustle, please.
All right. I do want to like take a look in one and see if like I've got any dirt or anything that I should wipe off my face and stuff.
You are doing that, eh?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me some stories. 1d6 plus stories.
That's 6 total.
Okay. You know from Legends in the Forest that these sky ponds are supposedly, like you love gossip, like rumored to have creatures in them that use these as kind of like gateways or tunnels to the surface, but you know there's a myriad of tunnels that this feeds into. Like they look very still, but like deep underneath, it's like they're all tied together somehow, and then they're like home to creatures that you're not sure what they look like. Do you continue to look into the ponds to check your reflection?
I mean, sure. Take a quick look. That looks fine.
I think as you're looking and you're doing the thing to your face, I think you will see superimposed on your eyes in the reflection, you'll see a couple of golden ones looking right back at you.
Oh, like in where my eyes are?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I need some ointment. Something to drops.
And then you'll see what looks like a hand like come to the surface or like near the surface and like look like they're trying to poke you, like poke your reflection, and then come out of the water. And then all of you see this blue hand with 4 fingers, no thumb, and then just like, one finger pointing up. It looks like it has a claw on it, but very, very, very humanoid-like, but blue skin.
I feel like I gotta slap that hand and say that it's rude to point.
Okay. I'm not gonna make you roll. It's fine. So you slap the hand, and then there's like kind of like a jittering on the surface as the hand like goes immediately back into the water, and then out from the water after the hand goes back in, slowly rising from the pool, you see hair of glittery blue-green cast, and then a face, a forehead of blue skin, golden eyes, no nose, but then a mouth that looks like rather full of lip. And then you see a neck, nice broad neck, with gills, what look like gills, and then muscular body coming out of the water, not wearing anything, and then just kind of pauses, like right by the waist. And this creature is looking at you and blinking at you, and will raise their 4-fingered hand and look like as if they're gonna point and poke at your face. You all see this, by the way. It's not just reserved for Ruby.
Bianchi pulls out glasses so that she can get a closer look.
You're not wearing clothes, right?
I mean, you only see like like the waist and up, but no, not wearing any clothes that you can discern at the moment.
Yeah, you look absolutely frigid. Yeah. And I pull out a big sweater from inside my sweater and I offer it to the creature.
Um, they turn away from trying to poke Ruby's face and will look at you with those big golden eyes. They're very gorgeous golden eyes, by the way. And just kind of like smile, and you see this weird toothy grin where it looks like there's a double row of teeth, but it's not like menacing in any way. It's just like very kind of fetching in its own way with this mouthful of teeth, and will accept with their other hand the sweater, and will kind of look at it, kind of like, you know, turn their head every which way. Maybe the neck turns a little bit more than you would expect, which might be a little bit like, ooh, oh my God. And then starts to put it on, but puts it on weirdly where they don't put their arms through the armholes, and all you see is their face with the eyes like peeking over the collar. And you just like see them blink.
Eyes remind me of my favorite candy, salted caramel.
Mm-hmm.
That's, Miyake just gives a thumbs up.
Their one hand will come up and do the like do it with one of the fingers, but like they have no thumb, so it's like it looks weird. Like it's like this.
Oh, I see. Do we know what kind of creature this is?
Ruby just knows the rumors, but has never seen a creature like this before. If anybody else wants to try for stories, that's fine.
I'll try. I would like to know what's
Okay.
going on here. It's a 4 minus 1, a 3.
Okay. So for the 3, again, you can fail or you can ask to succeed at a cost.
I will succeed at a cost.
Okay.
What would the cost be? Maybe as I'm like leaning in to get a closer look to see what's going on, I like lose some of my stuff in my bag.
Yes. Let's see. What stuff would you... You've already used up your can. Did you pick your can back up, by the way?
Yes, I think my can. I will have picked up my can, and I think my can is what falls out because it was at the top of the bag.
Yeah.
And it just falls into the pond. Oops.
Right.
Ah.
And the creature will look like above the collar of the sweater and just kind of like blink, look down, and then like bloof, like literally that's the sound it makes. It's like bloof, like as if it just kind of drops like right back into the pond with the sound, and then no surface tension. Like it's as if it was never there.
Oh.
So
did it take the sweater with it?
It did take the sweater with it. Yes.
Oh. No.
I'll look at Ruby. You always make such interesting friends, dear. Are we on the right track? What should we do now?
Yes, the path should be just ahead.
Yep. And you make it to the pathway and then realize that it opens into this clearing that seems to have pathways leading from other parts of the forest, as if this is like a crossroads of some sort. And then like they seem to be leading up through the woods, up into the mountains, maybe past the, side of the volcano. And you notice a little sign like around the patches of herbs and plants that says, "To Seniors Retreat. 3 days of rest and rejuvenation."
Oh, it's that flyer I ignored earlier.
Doesn't that looks like so much fun? We should go. Obviously, what we're doing.
Yeah. Let me see. If we're near the, I guess I'll look first if we're like nearing the area where the herbs and stuff are supposed to be for tracks of the children.
Yes.
And then from there move outward and like look for any secondary tracks that might have seen the children.
Right. Go ahead and roll stories again for knowledgeable.
That was another 6 total.
Nice. Okay. So in this place where like all the pathways seem to merge like from the forest in varying degrees of footprints, foot traffic, what have you. I mean, like some snow has been cleared and some snow hasn't. You can tell that the kids have been here. And they were foraging in the patches that are normally there. And then suddenly, like, you could see the tracks booking back to town. There are some other tracks that are here, though. Several boot prints that look like they're leading up the path around the volcano towards the seniors' retreat. There's also a set of prints, smaller, kind of like not booted, like more like slippers of some sort, leading into the forest from one of the other paths. And maybe from that direction, maybe you see a curl of smoke, as if there might be a dwelling near here.
Someone might have seen something around here or heard something. Kids are not quiet. Especially your niece over there. Sometimes she's got a mouth on her.
I quite disruptor that one. Shall we go over to the house?
Sure.
What do we know about this fortress that the senior retreat is at? Like, was it there before? Or did it just kind of pop up suddenly?
Would Miyaki like to roll stories?
I would, yes.
Okay.
I would. That's a 3 minus 1 is a 2, but I'm going to use my +3
Great.
to get a
So
5.
Yep. Okay. So, this fortress was one of the minor dungeons near the town of New Ocean Springs. It was considered the starter dungeon, or the starter adventurers place to train. It was used as a kind of like a training area where it was abandoned for quite some time. And again, adventurers would come here knowing that this is not too hard. There were random creatures that would come in and wander about, make their home there, and be good practice for any starters that wanted to get their feet wet in adventuring. I think recently, after its long history of being abandoned or having certain treasures that were able to be found here, someone bought it. You heard, not that you pay attention to gossip or what have you, but maybe from one of the other town guard or the forest patrol, maybe you heard that someone had bought it recently, and that's why the seniors retreat flyers have been appearing, because of this whole rest and relaxation. You don't just get regular adventuring aged folks coming through the town, you also get retirees. Sometimes they want to find a place to settle down, and apparently somebody has heard that there is a need for a place to rest. If you don't want to go into town, then maybe the senior retreat is the place for you.
Okay, Miyake's gonna look off into the direction of the fortress that was once a dungeon and is now a spa. And say, I think Hawk, that's where Hawk and I met long ago. It was a dungeon. There were monsters in there. I think did we run training exercises there? We must have run training exercises there before. Ruby and Hilda.
Yeah, I think Hilda would have something to do with that as like like a task junkie. She'd probably like people up there at some point.
Yeah, and I think Ruby probably helped to maintain like the line of things not getting into like it was safe enough for the kids to come out this far and stuff like that for people, because like she's maintaining some of the forest with her hunting stuff and trapping to make sure that things from the dungeon back in the day were not making their way any too close to town.
I wonder if they cleared it out.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
been a lot more boring since.
Doesn't seem like a relaxing vacation.
I heard
To
it
fight
was.
monsters.
I heard it was by Hrim's nephews. He married into that family, and she came from money, and so her uncle had a deal with one of the.
Oh yes, I heard all about that. It was very, very swept under the rug sort of situation.
And you know why? Because the two of them, before they were married, ran off to for that weekend. And
Why?
Ooh. Scandalous.
Right. Well, should we go? Should we go over there?
Mind you, the house is in a different direction than the fortress.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we can start to hear if this, because the house is probably closer than the fortress, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you see again the curl of smoke from a chimney.
Can ask if they heard anything out here.
Okay. Miyake's gonna mark their itinerary, add it to the agenda, because the meeting that they were at originally has not been adjourned. So this is all part of the agenda.
Did you leave your gavel back at the tavern?
I did leave it back at the tavern.
This meeting's gonna keep going and going and going. Oh my god.
We're going.
I love it.
She's taking notes.
Oh my god. That's so great. Okay. So yeah, if you're heading towards the house, you can follow, again, you can look it up in the sky and then kind of follow the curl of smoke, because it's not so far off. And you're leaving the environs of like where the fortress is. And you make your way down this particular path. I don't know whether Miyake would have remembered this or not, but maybe this is along the path where your former husband might have settled down as well?
Oh, maybe. That might be why he was on my mind when I was looking at the fortress.
Mm-hmm. And
that hawk.
Wait, which hawk? Because there's several different hawks. There's Hawk in town, there's Hawk, your former husband, and then there's a different hawk that, well, Ruby knows from the forest.
That's the question.
It's been a long
Which
time
hawk is
since
it?
I've seen that hawk.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, Anyway, you make your way down this path, and maybe it's a little bit treacherous because it's like on an incline, like leading down. But you do see a house nestled in a pocket valley of this particular part of the woods. So like it's a path that leads down. It's a little bit like at a steep angle, but then like you can see it veer off and then like kind of make its way down into a tiny pocket valley that is tucked away down in this recess. And you see the curl of smoke coming from its chimney, as if somebody is there. It's a cute little house. It's thatched roof, maybe one entrance that you can see, and it's kind of again settled in its own little pocket valley with maybe a garden next door to it, and then you see something that looks like creatures, like maybe goats or chickens or something like that, but you can't make it out from this angle, like what they are.
See if they are small.
They are small, yes.
Hello there, little ones. Are you well? I'm gonna look in to inquire, see if they're being well taken care of.
You look at them and you notice, okay, so let me have you roll stories now, Hilda.
2.
You go, what?
2, sorry.
Oh my God. Okay. 1 to 2. Complication arises and you take a personal slight. Yes, please mark a personal slight, another personal slight. Oh my God. Yeah, so as you're trying to make friends with these tiny little creatures who you start to notice that they're like tinier than small chickens, and they all as a body will turn away from you and kind of like do that scraping motion as if like like trying to kick back at you, like as if like, oh, we're not talking to her or whatever. And they'll all head back to the house.
That makes Hilda sad. But could I tell if they looked like they were cool though? They were like, they had food and stuff.
Yeah, no. They were like, they looked well fed, but they're just small, like smaller than small. But again, they all as one, they will all like, kind of kick back and just kind of and go head back to the house.
Oh, well, they look well. That's all that matters. And then I'll head over to the front door, like the main entrance we can see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm gonna knock.
You hear from inside, hold on, I'm not decent.
Take your time.
And you hear a clattering and kind of like a knocking, as if like this person's like trying to make their way through God knows what to get to the door. And the door is flung open, and you see Hilda. What does Sonia look like, or what do you remember Sonia looking like the last time you saw her?
Ooh, let's see. That's an interesting question. I think she looked like rosy cheeked and vibrant with short curly hair, not permed, but just naturally curly hair. And she always wore like tight fitting clothes, like buttoned shirts with vests over them. Lots of pockets all over. That was like the look mostly. And then like an more average height, like a 5'4" or 5'5".
And that's how she appears to you now. Not much older than when you saw her last, which is weird because it's like obviously you've aged in that time, but she's looking pretty fine, I will say. And she'll know, she'll recognize you and say, Hilda, is that you? She's kind of popping out of her shirt. Welcome. Hey, you found my my little retirement shack over here. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. What are you doing up here? It's been so long. And I go in for a hug.
Oh, she'll go in, excuse me, she'll give you a hug. And as you remember, since she's so short, that her head probably doesn't come up much further than your chest. So you're equally like hugging each other. And then she's also saying, oh, ouch. Ah, I forgot. I forgot. You have things hidden in your sweaters.
Oh, yep, always going around with everything. You know how I do.
Right. Well, welcome. I mean, please, you and your friends, absolutely. Like, come right on in. And you come into a comfortable-looking cottage. Those chicken-looking creatures are here, and they're all kind of like spreading about in this house. And yeah, she welcomes you in, and you smell something very, very familiar to you, Hilda. It's something that Sonia used to make for you on the regular that you enjoyed very much. What is it?
Lovely cheddar soup.
Nice.
Can I offer you some soup? It's cold out there. I mean, have you been walking long?
Well, the nostalgia factor is really starting to kick in here. Do you have those sourdough bread bowls you used to make too?
Of course.
Sonia, you remember Ruby, of course, a long time friend of, and this is Miyaki.
How do you do? And she's like, taking the bread bowls and settling them in front of everybody. And then like, pouring this big helping of soup into each one of them. What are you doing out here? I mean, like, I know I'm remote, but I mean...
It's a thing these days to work remote, so good for you. I'm glad you found something nice that you like. It's a lovely home. We're actually, the news is not so good, Sonia. We like, I don't know if you remember my great grandniece Alida. She's not well. It seems like she's been cursed, and my friends here, they're grandchildren have also been cursed. They're aging rapidly. It seems we've put a stopper on it, but it's something we're trying to investigate right now and take care of. Hopefully, reverse. Is this anything you're aware of?
Hmm. She contemplates it, thinking on it, and she will see if she's gotten a handle on any kind of rumors or anything like that she's heard recently. Again, she's going to tell you that she's been, foraging the woods and kind of making her way to this very retired life with these creatures and what have you. So she hasn't really heard any scuttlebutt from town or anything recently, but she looks like she's trying to hide something.
Miyaki is going to. She has pulled out her knitting needles and some burlap and is kind of working as they're eating. But says, Ruby. So, it looks like Sonia wears sunscreen. Her complexion is very... How long have you known her?
You ask me?
Yes, I'm asking you.
Oh, okay.
Because Hilda
Let me
is...
see. Yeah, Hilda just sort of introduced, I think, but Ruby being Ruby, it's like, oh, I've heard some stories about Sonia
Yeah, I figured you probably
from
know
Hilda.
each other for so long that if I had like a romantic interest, you probably were like aware of it at a minimum.
Some of the things that Hilda told me about Sonia, what she used to get up to.
I think it's a testament of your friendship that Ruby didn't spread more rumors about Hilda's love life.
Yeah.
I just want to say that.
But no, we shouldn't talk about it. I'll tell you later.
She looks quite spry. Are they the same?
Yeah, Hilda's like, you haven't aged a day and blah blah blah. But she's like on a tangent, talking to her old not like
Yeah.
necessarily gonna participate in the shake
now. I want to perhaps examine because there was a garden. So maybe the strange plants. Let me think if
Sure.
there's anything that has very good, rejuvenating qualities.
Sure.
Good for the skin that I might have noticed out there. Trying to think.
Sure, absolutely. You can totally roll stories if you want. And for Miyaki, I don't know if you want to either.
Miyaki wants to go to the restroom and snoop.
Nice. Nice. Let's see what looks good. You know what? I'm gonna have you both roll on stories for that.
So I rolled a 1, I've got a 2 for stories, and I've got my hidden talent strange plants.
Nice. Okay.
So a 4 total there.
Yep. So with a 4, you can fail to identify the plants, or you can ask to succeed at a cost.
Well, I have these 3 points to add to stuff, so I could potentially, I guess, just bump it up to a 5.
Yeah, if you want to, sure.
That's
Okay.
That's easy enough to do.
Yeah. So maybe as you're eating your soup and you're looking outside the window and you're noticing the garden, I think you recognize some of these plants as in conjunction with each other, like in combination. Some of these plants have very healing and vital properties that, mixed in with sulfurous waters, could really help keep a youthful cast. Like, in other words, it's like, they're really good at rejuvenation, basically. Yeah, worked in combination together as well as with sulfurous waters.
If you were vain for that sort of thing.
Yeah, if you were vain for that sort of thing, sure, absolutely. But you know this. You know, like, the combination of plants. Interesting that they're all in one garden, though. Maybe she's got a liniment business on the side. Who knows? And, sorry, Miyaki, what did you roll?
I rolled a 4 on stories. For snooping.
For snooping. Okay.
Snooping.
So you can either fail or you can ask to succeed at a cost.
I would like to succeed, and my cost will be that she knows that I'm snooping.
Absolutely. Because I think you find in your snooping, as you're making your way to the restroom.
Like pulling open all the drawers and
sure. Yeah.
slamming cabinets as I go.
Yep, absolutely. I think
trying to be quiet, but I think Miyaki might be partially hard of hearing, so she thinks that she's
being quiet.
Being quiet, but she's
for her
really not.
Yes, for her, absolutely.
She's silent to herself, but she's very loud.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think this is comically picked out because it's like, you've kind of made your tiptoe from the bathroom and then, like, kind of looking around her place. So you see in her bedroom, which is also very neat, but you see in the corner, there is something that looks like a sewing machine, but it doesn't look like a regular sewing machine. It's got the wheels and the pedal to activate it, but there's something glittery. I'm just gonna say it, like, like it's got some kind of like weird like silvery decorations on it that make it look unlike anything that you've ever seen as a sewing machine.
Yeah, that catches my eye as another textile artisan with my knitting.
Yeah. And I think the way that she finds out that you've been messing about with it is because you get close to it. Maybe you touch it, you reach out to touch it, and then all of a sudden it starts working on its own. It whirs to life. This silvery machine starts to, like, the pedal pumps by itself, the wheel starts to go, and then it's like it's starting to make sounds like it is upset, like it is making music of a angry nature. Sorry, I'm using up the donation item. Rage Against the Sewing Machine. Sorry. It's like, so yeah, it's making sounds that everybody in the house can hear.
Oh no.
What? And yeah, and it's like Sonia will kind of like, get up from the table and like investigate, why her magic sewing machine is starting to sound off.
Oh.
What are you doing in here?
I got lost.
You did go to the restroom where you're supposed to go, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I got lost.
Okay.
Left, right. You said down the hall to the right, and then I went to the left, and then and then it turned on by itself. I made you this pot holder.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much. And then she will turn to Hilda, like if you've all gotten up and then like, followed. I think she'll turn to Hilda and said, "This is my little baby." And she will kind of like stroke the top of it and say, the real great properties of this, right? I got this at a bargain. And she takes the pot holder that you made. Now, did you make it with the machine or did you just make it yourself?
I was knitting it.
Oh, okay. Now, if you had made this pot holder with this machine, it would totally keep the properties of its use. It's kind of how I make my money on the side. I mean, sometimes selling the plants to the spa gets a little bit of money, but I really make my money with my merch. Ooh. Mercenary merch. Huh? She's pointing at Hilda.
Yeah, mercenaries. That's what they called you.
Mercenaries. Yes. Oh my God. You're looking well. I mean, I'm sorry to hear about your grandkids. Oh my goodness. Did you need me to help investigate? Is that what you need?
If you're offering, sure.
I can do it for an old friend. And she kind of nudges you. You just have to promise to visit more often.
Now that I know that you're up here, we fall out of touch and things like that. It happens.
Lost touch. Yeah. we can keep in touch. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It is quite important for us to finish what our task at hand.
Yes, yes. I'm so sorry. So, hmm. I had not heard of anything happening. Well, there were just the bandits in the woods and such. One of them got some kind of curse set on them, but it seems to be random. I, the only thing I had heard was when certain people crossed the path on the way to the fortress, that sometimes that particular curse or malady would affect them. But I mean, that seems silly, doesn't it? I mean, people are going to the spa for the seniors retreat now. I mean, like, why would anybody set the curse to, make young people old? I mean, why?
Very, just I'm confused, honestly.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That sounds really strange. Are you going to the seniors retreat? I mean, like, I know they're having another one in another couple of days, like a holiday special going on.
Love that. I would love that very much. But like I said, task at hand, task at hand. I can't be getting distracted with something like that right now.
Okay, okay. Well, I mean, if you want to go, it's like, I can have you as my +1.
Blushes, but yeah, cheeks. We did speak to those bandits. We ran into them earlier. Were they bothering you up here?
Oh no, they know not to bother me because my little friends here, they keep the place safe. And she pets one, and you notice that when she pets one of them, like, again, they're like smaller than chickens, they kind of look like chickens. As she pets one of them, that one has a glow in their eyes that makes it look like their eyes are aflame.
Oh, terrifying. Well, if they were bothering people up here, hopefully they won't anymore. We took care of them.
Oh, that's so good. I mean, I didn't want to necessarily interfere myself. I mean, I am only one person, and no one's paying me. So, I mean, like, I didn't want to get involved. So,
Cash world, cash money. I look over at. So where do you think we should look next?
Well, nothing was heard because the kids. Let me think about this real quick. The kids would have only happened like several hours ago.
Are they okay? I mean, since they had that affliction placed on them, I mean, are they getting any older?
Oh, not at the moment.
That's
We've
good.
got someone on that for now.
Good.
Do need to solve it soon. Let's see here. Well,
You may want to talk to the owners of the spa. Maybe there's maybe they've been seeing more cases of this. If it seems to be people going up to the fortress spa. Sorry, the spa.
Know them. Perhaps you could introduce us.
Sure. I usually only go once a month because I supply them with some of my plants and herbs. But yes, I'm glad to accompany you for sure. And yeah, she. Were you going to go now? Yes.
Yeah, now.
Okay. And so she cleans up. She gets everything ready, and then you notice that she barely takes any extra gear. Not even a bag, just maybe a backpack of her plants, like, yeah, she can do an early delivery or what have you. And then she looks at you directly as she's packing in her sleeves and her belt these tiny little darts and these tiny little chains in her sleeves and in her belt. See, I have things that are more portable and don't hurt people when you get hugged. Just saying.
I always liked you, Sonia. Just gotta brush off the slight.
All right, I'm ready. Let's go. And then you can head off to the fortress. And I think at this point you have pardon. You have started up the mountain path. And the fortress has obviously a reputation now as like a rest and rejuvenation kind of place. But for those of you that have been there before, it doesn't look much different from what it looked like before when it was an adventuring dungeon. Imposing, kind of, dirty stone. It has battlements that look worn and rubbly in some places. It's almost like they wanted to keep the aesthetic outside to make it more protective, but yet this is a place for rest and relaxation. So you're not sure exactly what's going on, but this is what you see as you're heading up the path towards the fortress. And the skies overhead have changed from a bright blue to seeing clouds starting to form near the edge of the fortress land, as if a storm is coming.
See, I told you, I felt it in my knee. I knew there was a storm coming.
My elbow.
I felt it in your knee and your elbow. I kind of rely on you two for that.
If you need more liniment, I mean, like, I have things that I can help.
I've got. Pull out my own
you do
thing.
plants too?
Oh, why not? Of course. You must. All natural things, you've got to put them together. This, that, for health reasons, nothing so vain as, like mixing up the certain whatchamasm,
Well, I mean, for
I suppose
health
some people
reasons.
might need that, but, I get along just fine.
Well, you all look wonderful. And you kind of can tell she doesn't really mean it, but it's fine. As you're making your way up the mountain. And those clouds are coming in. So this is weird. If it's okay, it's like I would like to take a 10-minute break because it's like I'm starting to lose my voice and I apologize. So 10-minute break to refresh beverages if that's okay. And then see about seeing if anybody else wants to donate to the cause. And then we'll come back at the 30 mark. And then we will resume our story. All right. So
Good.
And we are back with Raging Grannies. Once again, for everyone just joining us, this is game 4 out of 5 of our Haunted Holidays charity game stream weekend. We have one more game after this coming at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, a game of Nahual. But until then, today we have Mads running Raging Grannies with us here for Mariko, Marcos, and Brian. Don't forget that if you do want to donate to the cause, we are raising money for Diversity Saves, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization helping to embrace and increase diversity and inclusion for TTRPG creators and the TTRPG industry as a whole. And any donations also do qualify for our donation incentives, which you can see on the left side of the screen there, including giving bonuses to die rolls, adding the ability to ignore slights, or even putting in some holiday-themed magic items. In addition, anyone who donates also does receive some map bundles from Stained Carbon Maps, as well as a couple games, one from Buttonkin Games called Drama Llamas, as well as a 5e adventure by Chris Hopper called This Place. In addition, we're running a giveaway. Anyone who enters !giveaway in the chat is qualified to win The Dark Below by Critical Crafting. So keep an eye out for those. And I will pass it back to Mads. Here you go.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. So we have found ourselves outside of the fortress proper. I think those of you who remember coming here for your starter dungeon or training others for their dungeon experiences, you recognize the rather gray and worn walls of this fortress and the imposing double doors that lead into the fortress. The only thing, well, actually, you know what? Let me ask you guys. Paint the scene. For what concessions have they made to make this welcoming, even though the fortress remains as imposing as ever, to your memory? What touches have they made to try and make it welcoming as a retreat and a spa?
I think they have added ramps for accessibility.
Okay. What else?
Probably additional lighting on the outside of the building.
Maybe torches in decorative sconces, like where there's been work made to give the iron like not just a straight terrace feel, but like maybe like little curly cues or like floral designs or something. Yeah.
For an open dinner, sure.
I'm thinking lots of like tapestry and banner work and lots of large print and things that are like everything is mapped out real easily to find your way around.
Like the decks of cruise ships. Sure. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm trying to find my D4 again because I'm lame. If somebody has a D4 handy... Oh, wait, I found it. Never mind. Let's see. So, another anonymous donation. 1D4 bonus to add it to all the players. So, let's see. Give me a second. That is 2. So, you can add 2 bonus points to your pool. Added any way you like to rolls. Future rolls. Okay?
Nice.
Alrighty, cool. Nice.
Do
Thank
I
you very
add
much.
that to my other 2, or should I just
Yeah,
pick
yeah.
up
Like
2?
like if you have a pool, if you have a pool,
okay.
like you would add that to your pool of whatever you have remaining. If you haven't used it up already. All right, cool.
I think that there's also those kind of poofs, beanbag kind of type seating that you see in spas for like lounging about, although it's not really practical for seniors, but I think they needed to do something to signify that it was a relaxation spa.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, you hear the ominous like as the doors are being unlocked or what have you, and then they're opening inward, and Sonia has this expectant look on her face, like, you know, nothing's wrong, nothing's bothering her. Like, you know, she comes here on the regular just to sell them her plant combos. And yeah, I mean, when it opens, you see all of this. The fancier lighting, the tapestry. It's like it really does give a cozy atmosphere here. It's noticeably warmer in this particular space, even though like it is open to the sky in this courtyard area. You see the bean bags and such kind of like laid out like along the columns within the courtyard itself, and there's a plush red carpet going from the double doors into the fortress proper. And there are two people here, both with shocks of red hair. Well, I mean, they're older, but like, you know, their red hair is shocking because it's the reddest hair that you've ever seen out of anybody, like even locally. And it's probably faded for their age. So they look like they're elderly as well, but they look really good. Their skin is smoother. Like they don't seem to be holding themselves with any kind of like aches and pains. They're just like kind of straighter and just more lively looking. And they come and greet you. Like the woman is shorter than, I guess, her partner. And she's wearing like what looks like Grecian robes of like red and white, and like in that drapey fashion. And then the husband is in like a sleeveless vest, and again, red and white with sandals of like black leather. And they both will greet you like, darlings. Darlings, oh my goodness. Are you here for the upcoming retreat? It's perfectly fine if you're here for the pre-retreat retreat.
I do love a good pre-retreat.
Oh, and I see you have Sonia. Sonia, it's wonderful to see you. And she kind of like does that thing like where they kind of hold out both hands for people to take them. And Sonia's like, wonderful to see you again, Amelia. These are my friends. Well, this is my friend Hilda, and I know Ruby, and was it Miyaki?
Miyaki.
Ah, yes. Yeah, they're from New Ocean Springs, here to take part in the pre-retreat. And she's kind of looking back at you, Hilda, like kind of like making those eye things of like, don't give it away.
That's a little, because did we talk about hiding our intentions before we came up here?
I don't know. Did you? If you don't want to, that's fine too.
Yeah, I just was like, was that part of the plan? I don't remember. Maybe I'll just lean in to that. Yeah. I'll look at the others kind of confused. Sort of defer.
Mm-hmm. I don't think we discussed it. So Miyaki,
We just had suspicions, yeah.
Miyaki is just going to say, our grandchildren are rapidly aging.
Oh dear. And the one label called Amelia will say, oh my goodness, I hope they're okay. In that very saccharine tone that you're like, are you serious?
They're not, is it genuine or is it not genuine?
That's a very good question.
Can I roll to discern?
Yes. You can use hustle.
Okay, I will use hustle. I have a +1 there.
I would also
Okay, yeah, I got a 5 + 1 is a 6.
Yes. Yeah, you can tell she's not meaning it.
Oh,
Did I roll as well?
Yeah, go ahead.
Ooh, I got a 4 for hustle.
Okay. So Miyaki, you know that she doesn't mean it. Hilda, I think,
Doubt starting to creep in.
yeah. Yeah, you can succeed at a cost or you can fail. That's up to you.
I have bonus points again, but I think I'd like to succeed at a cost. That sounds interesting.
Okay. So maybe you can discern that she's not telling the truth, but I think she's kind of noticing your grimace maybe at like it's on your face, Hilda, that she can tell that you know that she's not telling the truth. And it's like, why so doubtful, darling? I mean, I'm not saying it's not terrible. I'm just saying you're here to get some rest and relaxation from those young folk and their concerns. I mean, I'm sure they're fine.
Yeah, Hilda's gonna. No. That's not why we're here, and it's not fine. It's not fine. It's rather crass that you'd say something like that. My grandniece is one of the most important things in the world to me, and I'll not have you speak ill of her or my compatriots' grandchildren as well. So,
Oh, well, I am sorry that I caused you any distress. I did not mean it. And the husband will come forward and say, well, we can discuss this over a meal. I mean, you can come in and see what we have to offer. And if we have anything that we can help with, I mean, a cure or perhaps, finding out what happened, we could.
I'm not hungry. I just had a delicious soup. But yes, discussing a solution here would be keen.
We'd love to tour the facilities.
And at the word tour, he's all about it. He's like, kind of springing up on his black leather sandals, and he's just, like eager to usher you into the fortress, the spa retreat itself, and say, good. We can make arrangements for dinner, and then we can definitely show you around and show you why we think this would be so good for you all. Absolutely.
yeah, Miyake's just frowning and looking around. She is also pulled out the knitting needles again because it is just so rude to go to somebody's house and not have anything to give. So she's crafting things on the fly.
Oh my gosh. Well, Sonia has gone off to the side to talk to somebody at a reception desk. And then Amelia will withdraw. The husband's name is Gerard. Sorry, Amelia and Gerard. Gotta put this in the thing. Otherwise I will forget. Yeah. And so Gerard will bring you out, and he's just got this smile of a game show host. As he's giving you the tour and such. And he'll show you the pools, the heated pools that they have, which smell suspiciously like some of the waters that would already be in the hot springs down in New Ocean Springs. But they seem to have bits floating in them, like the parts of the plants that Sonia sells to them. And then the other rooms where it looks like they're ready for massages, and other rooms that are ready for complete and utter silence, but yet like there's kind of like music coming from someplace, like live music coming from someplace.
Or was someone like playing one of those gong things where you run the
yes, like the oh god, what do they call them? The singing bowls. Yes, singing bowl and a gong, like like you hear as you're moving away from these rooms, and
with
like
fake bird calls.
Yeah, you actually see some people from town maybe that you recognize, like some of the people that you've gossiped about, Ruby. Maybe you see, like recognizable hairdos or what have you. And they're here. Maybe they're under towels, or maybe they have like warm towels on their faces as they're awaiting a treatment or something like that. And everybody around here is wearing like very drapey robes, ready to do whatever services that they're doing. And Gerard is happily taking you around to show you this. And then he leads you into what looks like was originally the throne room of the fortress. This is like as far as you remember from before, but they fixed it up where it is now a meeting room, a greeting room, with this grand polished table and plush chairs, and what look like on a dais further into the room, 2 throne-like chairs. Done up in red and gold.
What made you all convert an old fortress into a spa? Why pick a place like this? What a grab.
They seemed like a really wonderful place for people that wanted to retire. They come here, they come into New Ocean Springs to enjoy the candy and be safe and relax. Well, I mean, adventurers would be coming from adventuring, and maybe we've seen the trend of more oldsters and elderly such as yourselves that want a better experience. They don't need to train anymore. They don't need to take people through their paces. They want rest. They want comfort. They want coddling. They want people to take care of them, of course. And we provide that service.
Was this conversion sanctioned by Notion Springs? Because I imagine the paperwork for that is quite extensive, And what'd you do with all the monsters? Weren't there a bunch of monsters in here?
Monsters? And he has this look on his face like, know what you're talking about, but I'm not at liberty to tell you what we've done. Keeps that smile on his face.
Have we seen anybody else in here? I mean, I guess we're at the pre-retreat portion of this retreat, but
you see some people from town that you recognize. Right. Ruby definitely does, because I mean she's gossiped about them. And of course
they would be here.
Yeah, they would be here at the retreat. Of course they would be.
Do they look relaxed? Do they look how do they look?
You're seeing them from afar, like maybe they're in the middle of a treatment, like a massage, or maybe they're sitting there on the poofy cushions, enjoying the singing bowls and the gong music and such. So you're not like right up in their faces and seeing, but they look like they're enjoying themselves.
No, yeah, we'll enjoy anywhere that has a little booze on it.
When you say that though, Ruby, like even under your breath, I think Gerard will flash you this like amazing smile and say, it's like, oh, not alcohol. I mean, these are natural therapeutic drinks that will provide the most revitalizing concoctions for your health. He sounds like a commercial. And he flashes that 1,000-watt smile like at you while he's saying it.
Excuse us, we need the restroom. I'm gonna grab my 2.
Over there.
We're gonna shuffle off as a group.
Down the hall to the left. You will see it because of the blue curtains.
Okay.
Squeeze me too tight, my bladder.
Okay. We're going. Yeah, we're snooping. We're not going to the bathroom. We're snooping.
Why is everybody here being kind of mean? You guys notice that everyone's being kind of mean?
You're very rude. This is highly suspicious.
Okay, I'm down.
Especially because they didn't answer anything about, like, whether they filled out the proper paperwork or not.
But they definitely did not. Yeah, let's snoop.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like experience in this area is there. I want to, look for an old secret passage or something that you would use to, get in and out to, take care of certain things or set up certain traps because, maybe you can't always rely on monsters to set traps. And if you have new adventurers coming in, you got to set up a couple things, but nothing too dangerous for the youngsters.
Yeah, we've been before, right? So
I've had some
land a little bit. Yeah.
Some trap experience.
Okay, so again, remember that you can add fighting style or hidden talent to your roll for a +1, okay? And if you can stack it, fabulous, but, you get +1 for each. And then if you're going to do any kind of investigation, tell me how you're investigating. Are you going to be moving shit around so then I can give you, guts, or are you going to just try and, do this by talking to people, or you're just going to research, because it's going to depend on whether I ask you to roll with guts, stories, or hustle.
I'd like to try and find a couple of the trick bricks that open a false wall, that I would know that we're in here, to see if those are still accessible.
Nice.
And if I can get behind the scene.
Trick bricks. Okay, so that would be stories, to see if you remember. How is everybody else investigating?
Miyake's doing the good old open anything she can find. Cabinets, drawers, doors, curtains.
I'm gonna ask you to do hustle with this, because it's I'm gonna it'll be a kind of a time crunch, because he thinks you're going to the bathroom. So I mean, you want to do this as fast as possible. So opening shit. That will be hustle. Okay. And then how's Hilda looking around?
Can I use? So I still have my little mouse with me.
Oh. Okay.
I'm maybe they're trained to look for drafts or something like that. So a little similar to what Ruby's doing, but maybe they have a new area that they built into the system here that we were unaware of before, that I'm trying to find.
Got it. Okay. That could be stories for you. And for those of you that are using something either the fighting style, hidden talent, or even something from your equipment, you can apply a +1. You can add a +1 to your roll, plus your stat. Okay. So go ahead and roll. Tell me what you get.
I've got a 6 total.
Great. Okay.
I rolled a 1 plus a 1 for hustle, and then I'm going to use my 2 to make it a 4.
Great. Okay. So you can succeed with a cost or fail. I mean, you tell me what you want to do.
I will succeed with a cost, please.
Okay. And then Hilda?
I rolled a 6+1 for my my hidden talent.
Excellent. Okay. So we're going to take this each in turn. Ruby, tell me how you are searching around, as you all kind of split up from the bathroom entrance, and what you're looking for again.
So I'm gonna, like, as I walk along and keep an eye out, I'm gonna tap my walking stick against the wall here and there till I
Right.
find the spot that I'm looking for that's like hollow or something, and then count up a certain amount of bricks and push one in to open it up. If it will open.
It will open. You rolled a 6, so definitely you succeed. It opens up with a very quiet click. So strangely, and that should give you like alarm bells. It's like it's still quiet, which you're not the only one that knows about this. Okay. All right, and then let me do Hilda first, and then we'll deal with your complicated success. Miyaki. So Hilda, like you're sending your little creature along to find.
Yeah, like things that are out of the ordinary. I was thinking like maybe like if there's a weird draft or something somewhere that the creature would kind of follow it and lead me to maybe like a secret area.
Okay, secret area. Okay. All right. So, do you think as you're opening things, like you guys are all separated?
Yeah,
You've all okay. All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna say that Ruby finds the secret passageway. It still opens with a quiet click. So again, that's kind of like, oh boy, somebody else is using this. But I mean, you slip through perfectly fine. You remember this passageway, and then you head down. Hilda, you have your little creature. Does it have a name? I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, like, I'm meaning to ask if it had a name.
I want to say it's Fifo, like
Fifel. Oh. Okay. Yeah, so Fifel's going around and sniffing out something, and I think Fifel will direct you to a seam in the wall. Not the same as the panel that Ruby found, but it is a seam, and it looks like it is outlining what looks like a door.
I'm definitely gonna try to open it.
Yeah. I mean, I think even Fifel like is able to kind of like chitter at you and actually slip into the seam. So Fifel's tiny enough to be able to squeeze through. So there is something on the other side. And do I do this to you? Yes, I will. Okay. So Miyaki, I think as you're opening things, like, you're making your way down the hallway and then maybe finding like closets and storage areas and such, and like, you're opening doors and even opening drawers. I think that as you're doing this, I think you hear an audible click.
Oh.
It's not the same kind of click that Ruby heard. It's very audible. And you hear chomp, 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 chomp. And trapdoor opens underneath you and you slide right down.
Oh no.
Do you make a sound as you're sliding down?
I think I do not. I think I just clench my jaw and just shake my head at myself for falling just do a little tuts to myself as I'm falling down.
Oh my god. Okay. So I think this is where it's almost like a split screen that we see cinematically here. I think we see Ruby going down this passageway, and there's more of these decorative sconces here, but they're smaller, as if this passageway is not to be found easily, but somebody has been down here like, quite recently and regularly, so they need light to go down. And you hear what sounds like chanting, like some of that chanting that you were telling your grandson about, but not quite. Similar, but not quite. Hilda, as you're heading down, or as you make your fingers into the seam, and you're trying to maneuver it. Let me ask you, do you have anything of Sonia's from when you had a relationship? Do you have anything of Sonia's that you were using or that you borrowed but never gave back?
Like on me right now?
Yeah.
That's of the nature of how I move about the world. So, but I wonder what it is. Maybe
A comically tiny something. What is it?
only tiny thing I have on me, like a tiny pocket watch. That's how I check the time.
Okay. Yeah, I think you realize the edging of the pocket watch is just enough to pop the seam open. If you want to use that.
Yeah. Like I'm considering my big butterfly knife to like try and do it, and I'm like, oh wait, I've got this, and yeah, I popped the latch on the pocket watch, and I used the flipped out part to get in that seam.
And you too make your way into this what looks like a passageway. Not the same type as what Ruby is in, but you make your way and it looks like it's heading in the same direction. And Miyaki, you're taking the slide, and like, we're seeing your perspective of like where you're seeing your feet just like, slide down this dark passageway. Maybe you're like kind of like, moving in curves, and like, hopefully you're keeping your hands like together and not like trying to stop yourself, because it's a bit of a wild ride. And you maybe even like do a slight like loop to loop kind of thing where you're like, spinning in this tube, and you find yourself like out into this dark hall. Can't see the ceilings. Very dark. You can't see any light except coming from further down this cavernous hall, outlining what looks like an archway door. And you hear the chanting muffled from behind it.
Is it new chants or old chants? Is it those trendy new chants that they're doing in the town over?
It sounds like the trendy chants, but I mean, it's not the same. Like those like have a particular beat. This one has a beat too, but it's not the same thing.
I need to get closer because I can't hear very well.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we're
so
going.
to you, it sounds like, but actually, like it's loud enough that you can feel it in your feet as you walk towards it.
What's wrong with the old chants? Always doing new chants.
And so, new scene where it opens up into following Ruby's perspective, following this hallway down, barely lit, and then you end up behind some curtains into this great hall, which looks similar to what you saw above in the meeting room with the large table, the throne-like chairs, but this one has a lot more drapery. It's like a lot more cozy. It feels hot and humid in here for some weird reason. And so you're behind the curtains when you come through. Miyaki, you're at the door, at the archway door, and you can see light coming from the keyhole. And when you put your eye to it, you can see this as well, but from a different perspective. You can see the big table. You can see people sitting around this big table chanting in hoods and such. And then Hilda, you're coming from a different direction, but also coming out in a passageway that are behind some curtains. You hear the chanting. You see the people at the in hoods at the table. And yeah. You are all there in some way, shape, or form, looking upon this scene from different perspectives. You hear the trendy but not trendy chants. They're chanting. They're keeping their hands on the table. They're all hooded, and it sounds like the chants, but it's not. And you can't see the ceiling here. It's like the light has not been able to break past a certain level in this place. What do you do?
Oh, Miyake's going to knock on the door. So if anybody else wants to do anything first.
Let's see here. Is Hilda entering from a location that is visible to me behind these curtains?
Roll with stories.
Uh, 6 + 2.
Okay. You can see the hallway that Hilda appears in,
Okay.
but you're not sure if she sees you.
Okay.
You can make out bits of her sweater maybe in the dim light.
The silhouette is very
right, very Hilda.
Yeah.
Very Hilda. Hilda, do you want to do anything as you find yourself in this place?
Want to look around, so see what it is I see, so I can make a decision here.
Yeah, like I said, all these people are chanting at the table. They're all in hoods, hooded robes, and I think this is the point that you all hear the knock at the door, which sounds like a very bad boom. Boom, boom, boom. I'm assuming Miyake's not being subtle.
Mm-mm.
No.
Get in, yes, and once I hear that,
I think the chanting will stop. The person that's at the head of the table will gesture to the person that's closest to the door. And the person at the door will rise to answer it. Pulling down their hood before they do. And Ruby, I think you recognize it's like a humma. Person that you were gossiping about before that, did the faux pas of wearing what she shouldn't have worn for that party that she shouldn't have been at. Yeah. And she answers the door. Miyake, you know who this is, but yeah, you're quite surprised to see her, and she's quite surprised to see you. Oh, hi Miyake. How are you? She's looking great, by the way. She's like, one of your contemporaries, but her skin is smooth, no bags under her eyes, and her hair looks like it's gotten some color back. Like you remember it being like a peppery gray, but it looks like even in this dim light, maybe it's got a little spot of brown in it now.
Okay. Miyake will say, did you change sunscreen brands? Also, that color's too dark for you.
Excuse me? Have you joined us for the retreat?
She's looking and she's is this why you were not at my meeting today? The weekly meeting? The weekly paperwork meeting?
I think I know how to fill out paperwork, Miyake.
Did you fill out form 35C for changing the chants? She's just pulling out paper.
Oh my God.
From her bag.
And she's just giving you this incredulous look of
did Saul approve this? Was this retreat? Did you get the food permits? Did you get monster clearance? Did you get
from the leader of the on at the table, you hear, welcome her in. She can join, like they all can join whenever they find their way down here. They just have to make an agreement. And the person at the head of the table will take down his hood, and it's Gerard.
Oh, you said green curtain for a bathroom, right?
I did wonder why you were taking so long.
Miyaki is gonna stay in the doorway.
Should my homie Miyaki come under some sort of threat, I want to be poised and ready to strike.
Welcome her in. Welcome her in. And you can tell he's not talking to the person at the door anymore. From behind you, Miyaki, you hear a bit of a... Did you ever like come to this dungeon for training or anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
What was the one monster that you remember that was a tough one that scared you when you first did this starter dungeon?
Oh, it's got to be some sort of sneaky creature.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What's the manticore?
That has a tail of a snake, I think.
Yeah.
But it's big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to be a manticore or a snake creature? You tell me.
Either one works, but I think what probably happened is that Miyaki saw what she thought was some cord on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been really great for crafting, and then it moved and it was a snake. And whether it was a snake tail that was attached to a manticore or like a snake creature thing, either way.
Okay.
She does not like surprises, so that was unpleasant.
Yeah, as you are at the door with your mountains of paperwork, I think you see the paper in your arms riffling, as if by a heavy breath behind you. And you hear a hiss of something behind that. Welcome. Join our group. Before, well, our gods decide that you need to join and be voluntold.
Okay, and scoot into the door, but try to stay as far away from people as I can.
Yeah, and the person at the door like will gently close it, but you can still hear the big breathing and the hissing outside the door. Just one of the many creatures who have made their home here, and we've made it our business to, well, help them and see to them. In exchange, we have our spa, our retreat. For everyone else, rest and rejuvenation. And for those foolish enough to try and stop our operations, then maybe, well, the monsters here have a quick meal, a snack, as it were. So, would you like to join us? Would you like to be part of this wonderful group? The pre-retreat retreat is for those that want to get in on the business and take part in something bigger than themselves. And from one of the hoods that's around the table, that person will take their hood down, and you realize, Miyaki, that it's Hawk. Miyaki, it's so good to see you. He's looking good. Like, you remember like how he looked before, but like, again, he's looking rejuvenated for sure. I mean, like, maybe getting a little bit of color back in his cheeks. But yeah, it's like we could well, I mean, like, he kind of like, hesitates, but then says, it would be wonderful for you to join us.
Miyaki will kind of pat her perm and like tighten up her clothing. She's probably wearing some sort of knitted sweater that she just like she's flagrant of the rules as always. I see, Hawk, and kind of like,
I remember a time when you didn't care that much about the rules when we were together.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Well, we can get back to those times. You join us, and you can be just as rejuvenated too. No aches, no pains. And you can get back to that, well.
I should have known that you were involved in the aging of our granddaughter.
She fell maybe into one of the practice traps. I mean... This is for us to get back to our adventuring days, for people to come back to where they feel better about themselves. And the young, what is it? What did they say? Youth is wasted on the young. Adventure is wasted on the young.
Do I see my friends lurking in the shadows? Is everybody paying enough attention to me that they can do something?
Yeah, I mean, like everybody else is like, you're having that conversation with Hawk. The people at the table are paying attention to you. Gerard is at the head of the table, like with that 1,000-watt grin. And yeah, I mean,
Cool.
I don't think they see anybody else. So what are you two doing?
Now, did you say they were matching thrones here as
well,
like the
yes.
ones upstairs?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like think about like that meeting room, like, as being like the surface part, but then this part is like, deep within the bowels of the fortress.
And no one is sitting in the thrones currently?
No one is sitting in the thrones. You can assume that from like, from next to Gerard is probably Amelia under one of those hoods.
Yeah, I've got an idea. Because I think Ruby's heard enough that it's time for a weapon for any occasion.
Oh, shit. Oh, God. Okay. I want to hear this. What is it?
So it kind of depends on how close I am from this area to those thrones.
Like, say that you are like next to the dais behind like one of these curtains. So like if people were facing it, it would be table full of people, thrones, and then off to the side are the two curtained archways that have like you and Hilda.
Okay, so from this hall, the weapon is fire. From a little torch, just grab a couple of torches and get fire on the chairs and maybe like across onto the other curtains.
Okay.
The weapon is fire.
Oh shit.
And it's time for this is the occasion.
This is the occasion. Okay. Yeah, I give you the option. It's like can you
So I mean, I'll like maybe stick an arm out and try and wave toward Hilda to get if she'll see.
Yeah. I give you the option. You can do either guts or hustle.
Oh, it'll have to be guts.
Okay.
Because like my thought with Hilda is just to like get Hilda's eye and then just like thumb down. And then the weapon is fire. And let me see here.
Again, fighting style, hidden talent, or anything that you're using from your from your personal objects and such.
So that totals up to a 3, but I have 4 points. So I'm gonna take it to a 6.
Okay, cool. All right, well, yeah, tell me what this looks like with a 6. As you take some of those torches that you found in the hallway that you were in, and what does it look like?
It's just like, let me see here. People probably will see those. Like you'll hear the curtain ring kind of a shink as it shoofs off to the side, and I'm just standing there with 2 torches, and then just throw them both, one into the chairs or onto one of the chairs, I guess, the seat or something, so that it catches whatever upholstery might be there, and one just flying off into the other curtains as well.
And then maybe some of the people at the table like that weren't necessarily paying attention to Miyaki and Hawk's conversation. Like they see you do this, and they try to do a warning, but then they're like too late. It's like yeah, obviously it's already happened. Hilda, what are you doing as you see this happening?
Yeah. So I think right around Miyake's speech of like when she finally says like I knew you'd have something to do with the aging of our grandchild. It finally clicks for Hilda that this is what's the cause at last. What's going on? She's like, oh, got it. And I think everything does catch the attention. Like she becomes like hyper aware of the situation. She sees what he's doing, and she pulls out her ace in the hole is the comically large boomerang surfboard with one side that's like larger rounded on the end.
Okay.
She pulls out and she swings it a little bit, and the other side of the boomerang swings out and like clicks on. So she's just got this giant boomerang, and
Nice.
I just can't decide who to throw it at.
It is up to you. It is up to you.
What would Hilda's like intuition tell her here to do? Like, should I go for the leader? Should I go for Hawk, who just was like cool with cursing his grandchild, which is like just obscene to me? Or like, is the manticore visible? I had a feeling like maybe it hadn't come all the way out into the room yet.
No, it hadn't because the door was closed on it. But I mean, like the breathing and the hissing is still audible. I need you to roll with hustle to see if you're quick enough to activate this. I mean, if anything, I mean, like like we could even say like your boomerang, like maybe you swing it at the door to let the manticore in, something like that. If you want to do that.
Did roll a 6 - 1 for hustle.
Okay, but you still succeed with a 5, so that's perfectly fine. Yeah, so I mean, like whatever you want to hit. Tell me what you do with this boomerang, this gigantic boomerang.
What was the leader's name again?
Gerard. He's
I
the head of
want
the spa.
to throw my boomerang at Gerard
Okay.
as like a big demoralizer. If I can knock him out, that'd probably be pretty good.
Yeah. As he's making orders for people to capture Miyaki, and then like also to deal with the fire. It's like maybe your boomerang comes out and like smacks him unconscious.
Hilda lets out her boomerang. She stands up straight the way she does when she's going to go into combat and has it like over her shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
It's over. And throws the boomerang.
And I think everybody else is galvanized into action. Like there's some people that are heading over to the throne to try and put out the fire, and then there's others that are like look like they're tossing off their hoods, and they are like pulling out weapons. One of them happens to be Sonia. So I don't know how you want to deal with that.
Exactly how I want to deal with that. And because after I throw my boomerang, I pull out my comically large brass knuckles.
She will shoot her darts at you, like some of the comically small weapons, and that they can trank a horse. So I need you to roll with hustle for this because it's like you need to avoid her darts.
Sure.
Yeah.
4 - 1, but I think now's a good time to use my 2 points to 5.
Succeed. Okay. Tell me what this looks like. You dodging the darts and whatever you want to do next.
So my brass knuckles are like they fit. They go over my fingers, but they like encapsulate the front of my hands because they look like big punching bags, kind of.
Okay.
Boxing gloves. That's what I'm trying to say. Boxing gloves. And I just punch the darts out of the air. Like,
oh my god, that's fantastic! Holy shit, Miyaki, what do you want to be doing?
Miyaki is going to reach into her bag. She has a very specific set of knitting needles.
Mm-hmm.
And then she also has probably some spare knitting needles. So she's going to pull out like it's going to be like 3 in each hand.
Okay.
Of these long point sticks that she's going to the row to try to pin down the robes, the cloaks of the people to like hinder their movement.
Nice. Okay. Roll for hustle.
Okay, that's a 3. Oh, but I have long point sticks.
4. Okay.
4.
Succeed with the cost?
Because, well, can I also stack knitting ugly sweaters?
Yes. Yes, because maybe you're also using the ugly sweater stuff to entangle them.
Yeah,
as you're also
sending
pinning
out
them down.
long lines to trip people.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay,
Awesome.
perfect. Yeah, so it's gonna just look like pretty much we've been watching a lot of Spy Family lately. So it's like your
Fabulous,
but ancient.
Oh my god, fabulous. I'm going to just throw in for funsies because we are like nearing the end of our adventure. I think the snuffling and the hissing at the door has gotten worse, and the manticore breaks in and gives out a roar and will pretty much plunge into the middle of this melee as there are some people that are still trying to deal with the fire, still trying to capture you all, and then other people like trying to just get galvanized into action. I think Hawk is coming over to you, Miyaki, and trying to restrain you as you're doing this.
Stupid handsome face. It's giving me pause.
Oh no.
I think Miyaki's gonna hesitate here.
Oh shit.
Because Hawk is her ex. And she's, even though he aged our granddaughter, he looks like he did, or closer to he did.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's totally rejuvenated, so he's got that silver fox look, but younger silver fox look. So
yeah, she's hesitating. It's bad.
Yeah, he's coming after you with something, and I think maybe he gets a chance to pin you down with something. Maybe he's got a dagger or what have you. Do you want to use hustle or grit?
I would like to use grit, please.
Okay. Because maybe he takes a stab at you and he tries to drive it in.
He's an artist, so he probably has a palette knife or something.
Yeah, the palette knife sounds about right.
3 plus 2, so 5.
5. You succeed.
Yay.
Maybe he plunges it into you, but maybe you've got some kind of
I've got a stack of paper
and you're armored up with the paper and your town guard wear. And yeah, I mean, he looks at you and he says, "It could have been so beautiful with you. You young again." I think you two hear this, as in the midst of what's going on. So I don't know if you want to do anything about this or you want to handle the other weirdness going on.
Yeah, I want to jump down there and try to rumble with people for sure.
Okay. Sure.
So I'll jump down from whatever ledge. I imagine myself kind of up on a ledge a little bit.
Sure.
And my will open up and all of my weaponry will be on display as I fall down with my big punchy hands, and I'm just gonna go start punching people to help my friends.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them there, so I'm gonna ask you to roll with grit as well. Ruby, what are you doing after you set fire to the throats?
I'm gonna grab the curtain rod.
Oh.
So that it's a long thing, and then I'm gonna run at. Let me see here. I was thinking about taking it horizontally, but I think right now running it at Hawk seems like a good idea. It's got probably blunted round kind of edges. It's a curtain rod kind of thing. So I'm gonna run it at him and like go for a hit and push.
Guts. Please roll with guts.
Do I add my fighting style to the...
Yes, again, if you added fighting style, hidden talent, something from your bag, whatever. I mean, add +1, please.
That goes to a total of 7.
Nice.
And I'm gonna, when I make contact, and I'm gonna like keep pushing it, and I'm gonna shove until like he's, at one end of it and we're at the other, and I'm gonna say 6 feet.
Nice! Oh my gosh.
Oh, my hero.
I totaled a 5 with my +.
Still success, okay.
So I'm gonna go down there and do crowd control like I do, and just whoever like right in their nose.
Nice.
Probably somebody try to fucking trank me.
Yes. She is trying. I mean, like, in fact, like, she's using the numbers of the other folks to try and overwhelm you while she's trying to trank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and knock her out first.
Guts, please.
Oh, guts. Okay, that one is also a 5.
Okay. Yeah, so she's like, she's coming after you with her ridiculously tiny knives, but she knows how to use these tiny knives, like, so there's like, they're in between her fingers and she's kind of like using them like Wolverine claws kind of thing. And then she's trying to come after you and like trying to trank you with them. Tell me how you take her out.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of blocking, like I'm getting pushed back.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just waiting for an opening. Like I know her, and I'm like remembering how when we used to fight on mercenary missions together, and I know that she's gonna leave like her rib cage exposed at some point. So I make movements to open that up, and when I see it, I just go in there with a right hook and let her have it. So kind of incapacitate her with a huge gut check.
Yeah. She goes down. Could have been so beautiful.
I take out a comically large rose and I throw it down on the floor in front of her, and then I leave to go punch other people.
Miyaki, like, you no longer have Hawk, giving you pause, and there is a big manticore here, and there's fire, like, up at the throne dais. What do you do?
Oh my gosh.
Hawks always more trouble than they're worth.
See, right?
And you did pin down, like, some of these folks with their robes and like tangling them up in your ugly sweaters.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what do you want to do now? I mean,
I think there's a lot of chaos going on. Hilda looks like she is handling shit though, so I think we're okay there. Things are on fire. This is a contained room. We probably need to get out soon. But we also need to figure out how to reverse the grandkids. So
I think you see at this point Amelia trying to sneak away with what looks like a bowl, like a singing bowl underneath her arm. She's trying to do it under cover of, like, of course, the manticore, the fire, blah blah blah. She's trying to duck underneath the curtains down one of those secret hallways.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna try to get her. I would like to use a kind of use my knitting materials to make some sort of lasso type thing so that I can hook her.
Oh, let's do some hustle, please.
Hustle. That's a 4.
Okay. Succeed with a cost. I think
it throws out my shoulder real bad.
Yeah, because I mean, like, she's trying to wrestle out of your grip. With the lasso, because again, she's been rejuvenated, so of course, like, she's not suffering the effects of age, like, you're still feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maybe, like, she's tugging so hard that you feel like a
just pop.
Yeah.
And
Ruby, I think you see this. I mean, like Amelia trying to get away, Miyaki having a little bit of trouble trying to wrangle her. The Manticore is still here, like kind of just again causing trouble. And yeah, fire's still going on. Hilda seems to be holding her own at the moment and doing a good job of it. So what do you do? Now, did you knock Hawk unconscious, or did you just push him out of the way?
I mean, I'll take unconscious if it happened. That's
Yeah.
fine with me.
You succeeded. Yep.
All right, cool. That's fine with me. One Hawk down. Let's see here. Manticore, person with bowl. I mean, if the Manticore looks like it's going to cause a trouble, that could be something to take care of. But right now, it hasn't yet. What is it doing? I guess
It is basically like, has again like gone through this melee. Maybe it's like kind of doing the thing that cats do when they have something smaller. They've kind of like taken it by the neck or what have you, and then just kind of like shaking it in its mouth. And then the snake part is like kind of hissing and then maybe like biting some of the people like as it's passing. So yeah, it's kind of causing a little bit of trouble.
Although that's not hurting us right now, so
Not us. Yeah.
probably fine.
Not yet.
Yeah. We'll deal with that when we come to it.
Okay. Alrighty.
I'll go and help with the. I'll head toward Miyaki and Amelia
Okay.
to see how to help out over here.
Okay. How would you like to help?
Let's see here. I mean, I used that item already, so I need to grab something new as a weapon. So let's see here. What else is around? There's a lot of chairs. How heavy are these chairs?
I mean, you're a little old lady. I mean, like, well, let's put it this way. If you want to roll with guts, we'll see how heavy these chairs
Oh,
are.
that's true. No, I've got a weapon on hand. This is very true, what I'm looking at in chat.
Okay.
I'm running over there, and just as I get there, I in a whip-like fashion, my foot kicks up, and the chancla flies into my hand, and I swing it down with full might to just slap her back of her head, and knock her head into the ground.
Nice. Oh my God. Nice.
So I'll roll. This is guts.
Yep.
Okay, hopefully this works. That hit a 6.
There you go.
Plus 1 for guts and 1 for weapon for any occasion. A full 8.
Success. And I think as something special for your great roll, I think you knock her out, and then you obviously the bowl has come out of her grip, and you realize that like in the bowl are the plants that are necessary to be able to rejuvenate, to make younger. So like all of the ingredients are in that bowl.
I mean, I kind of think. Well, let's see here. The bowl. And there's lots of fire around. I just first, scoop it up and chuck all the plants into the fire. And then work on breaking the bowl.
Okay.
No. The
No.
antidote.
Oh, is that what we're thinking?
Yes.
Oh, I thought we were thinking this was what was causing it.
Oh my God.
It's causing them to be young again.
Yeah, I was thinking that the bowl was the ritual implement is what it was sounding like.
Oh, maybe.
And that they were chanting around the bowl to
Roll
make the
stories,
bowl
please.
do the thing.
Do the thing.
Amplify the effect that could be achieved with these in a magic way.
Okay.
Total is 6.
All right. So it is as you say. And so, whatever you decide to do with this bowl and the ingredients in said bowl, yeah, I mean, like, that will affect the curse. And like, think of it as a thing of transference. So whatever trap they sprung for these young people to become old transferred into their ritual to allow them, plus the plants, plus the rejuvenative properties of the chanting, to be able to become young again or younger. And they were just going to keep on doing it until they got back to their, well, whatever age they considered enough. So, and I'm going to just kind of like wrap this up as we see. Give me a sentence of how we see the wrap up of this particular ritual, the capturing of the gang. I don't know how you want to put it. For this spa retreat, how does it end for each of the characters? And then we will do epilogues of what in the future, like it doesn't have to be like directly after this. Maybe it's like, maybe a week or a month or a few into, the aftermath, epilogues for each of the characters as well. Okay. So what happens now to wrap up what happens at the fortress?
I mean, do you guys want this to be an antidote thing or a destroy it thing?
Up to you, man.
Oh, it's all good.
Either way. As long as our grandkids are cured, I don't care.
Yeah. I think, like, because the guy put that spell to pause on it, that the ritual was like it was still going is what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna cut it off and let it unravel entirely and return all the age where it was going.
Right.
So I'll chuck it in the fire and like, what to do with how to break a bowl? Should it all just go in the fire?
And it can slowly and dramatically melt like the One Ring.
Could.
I'm gonna throw it at the fire.
Okay.
And for some reason, it's gonna explode.
Sure.
The plant combination, they had some oils in there and stuff on it.
They had to. Yeah, absolutely. I think as the explosion happens, I'm just thinking of like World's End now. I really like that movie. And, I was like, as you're all like getting out or what have you, I think any of the people that were benefiting from the bull's magic, I think you start to see them gradually age again. And then what happens to Miyaki and Hilda?
I got a good one, but Miyaki, do you have something?
I think Miyaki is because Hawk is unconscious now, so she is going and aging again. So I think she will be pleased to see that she has aged more gracefully than he has, and is going to try to make sure that the townspeople get out.
Mm-hmm.
In generally one piece. She's not trying to kill them.
Right. The secret passageways are still open, obviously. So I mean, like, you can totally escape through those.
Sweet. Hilda looks around at the situation. She sees that the cursed stuff is kind of getting taken care of with Ruby, and that like crowd control is being taken care of by Miyaki. And they've been duking it out with some of the villagers and stuff as they try to like maintain their stuff. So she's taken some blows. She's a little worse for wear, like tired, but she sees the manticore kind of in the central area of this, like sort of threatening the peace that is starting to come in. And she spits out a tooth and looks at the manticore and is like, let's fight.
Oh, no. Oh, we have to cut there. And let's go on to epilogues, please.
Fade to black.
Yes. You know, it's like, and then the movie soundtrack plays. Then and then we go into cutscenes for the epilogues. So, where do we see these characters like the week, few weeks, months, whatever from now? And then what happens? How do they go on with their lives?
So Miyaki, you see a few scenes of Miyaki's daily life where she's talking and brushing her granddaughter's hair that has returned to the vibrant black color that it was, and they're having a nice family scene there. She also went back to make sure that they got that robber family. So the robber family plus all of the townspeople that were in on the rituals are now sitting in on weekly seminars led by Miyaki to it's basically community service for their crimes.
Did you make them process their own paperwork?
Yes, we do that. They have to process their own paperwork. She's teaching them, she's going through all the processes. It's great. She's having a great time.
Of course.
They're all wearing sweaters that she has knitted.
Oh.
Well, that say, please have your papers, so that they never forget the acronym.
Oh my God. Ruby, Hilda?
Now that the fortress is taken care of and back into its proper disrepair, Ruby will go in and start setting up a couple of the traps again and stuff for the new adventurers to come back through. And
you think any of the grandkids help with that project?
sure, I can be there doing that with Jaime. That makes bring it around that same kind of way, helping me to take care of putting some stuff, doing this and that.
I think he likes hanging out with his grandma.
There's like one freeze frame of something like coming out of darkness, and he's like, and then on the side of it, you see her like flying through the air with the chancla. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, I guess I can put one extra little like thing on there where there's a knock at my door and I open it, and from 1,000 years of not having seen, there's a hawk there. And it's like, Ruby, I finally found you. And it's like, Hawk, you've aged terribly. Shunk.
Oh my God.
Different Hawk, not my
Different
Hawk,
Hawk.
who also
Yeah.
aged terribly.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why the name fell out of fashion.
Probably.
I want Hilda's scene to be she's hosting game night at her house, and everyone's invited, all the grandkids and their grandparents and their parents and stuff like that. And she's explaining the rules for bridge because she didn't realize that no one knew how to play when she left them. And she's shuffling. She's got a brand new sweater on, that Miyaki made her. Her old one is hanging above her door, and you can see it's got this huge tear ripped out of the left arm. And she's sitting there shuffling with one hand because she lost her arm in the fight to the man. And she starts passing out cards, and it's all good. Everybody's like laughing and having a good time, and the camera like slowly zooms like out of the window and outside of her house, and like you see the smoke coming up out of the chimney, and you hear laughing, and that.
That's lovely.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much for playing Raging Grannies with me. Oh my gosh. Hope you had
so
fun. I did. I mean, taking these wonderful characters through the adventure. Oh my gosh. I don't know if we have time for stars and wishes really quick, but I mean, I would love to hear them. I mean, my particular stars are just everyone's character, like, being in character and then responding in the best way that they knew how for whatever situation came up. And yeah, I mean, it was a pleasure to, taking you guys through this today. Wishes, I don't really have any because I usually run this as a one shot. So I mean, like, if the continuing adventures of Ruby, Miyaki, and Hilda, I mean, like, they live in New Ocean Springs, so spin-offs.
Okay, I have stars. I think everybody playing it was so fun to play. I love getting the chance to play with everybody, and Mads, you did such a great job kind of rolling with all of the decisions we made. I liked that. I especially liked that at the end it was like depending on how Marcos rolled, it was his choice for how the curse was lifted, which was really fun. Wishes, I just hope we get to play again together someday.
Absolutely.
So it's stars is
Something nice.
okay.
Things that you enjoyed about the gameplay, the game, everybody's role play.
All the characters were fun. The DMing was very good, and I love when there's space for everyone to get in there. It's a good job. And wishes is future-y things.
Could be, yeah.
Can I tag in a thing that I think can I potentially add to Hilda's pan out?
Okay.
Sure.
Which is that as it's panning out over the house, like there's the backyards full of all the little critters, and then just past that backyard is like a newly fenced in area with just like a manticore giant on its back, just like rolling around on the ground.
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh, so perfect.
Perfect.
That's great. For Hilda, for me, stars, definitely Mads. Thank you for all the great sound effect Foley work. That was awesome. I enjoyed every time it came, especially the shwoomp. What was it when the creature went into the lake?
Yeah,
It's like, that was so good. And my wish was to know, what was that?
I mean, it's just like something I created. It's like, because for the last time I played with that particular area and creature, it ended up being a love interest for one of the PCs.
Very handsome.
Yep, she came back when she became younger, and she decided to spend some time with the pond person. I don't know. I didn't have a name for it. But,
So fun.
I wish we had spent more time investigating that. That was it. That's all. That's all I got.
Yay.
Thank you so much for those of you that have contributed to the charity and, were watching the stream. So I hope you had fun too. And it was a joy to be able to bring this game to folks. And hopefully you had fun watching as much as we had fun playing. So take it away. Daniel?
Yes, thank you so much, Mads, Mariko, Marcos, Brian. Thank you so much for all of you and everyone this weekend who has joined us as either a viewer, a player, or a GM for taking the time to spend time with us. We do have one more game coming this afternoon at 4 p.m. PST, 7 p.m. Eastern. That is going to be a game of Nahual run by our friend Susan. That is a modern-day Mexico-based game of angel hunters. It's very interesting. I definitely encourage you to check it out. We are at $880 of our $1,000 goal. Initially, we started out as a $250 goal for the weekend, so we have far exceeded our expectations, but expanding our goal is a good problem to have. So all donations are always welcome. We thank you all so much for contributing to our ability to help to raise diversity and awareness, diversity and inclusion awareness, and to help fund future projects by marginalized creators in our community. It means the world to us. At this time, I am going to go ahead and close entries for our giveaway, and we will pick a winner. So, drum roll, Veloxu. So, Mariko.
That's me. Yay, it's my prize for organizing the stream.
For spending a billion hours organizing everything, Mariko.
Yay.
You win a copy of The Dark Below.
Yay,
as well,
thank
all of
you.
our donors get everything else in the giveaway, which we'll be sending out via email after the stream is wrapped and I have a moment to sleep. In the meanwhile, for those of you who are not aware or who tuned in late, Diversity Saves is a 501c3 nonprofit organization working in the TTRPG industry to help embrace and amplify the voices of marginalized creators. If you are a marginalized creator and you are looking to get a little leg up financially, we do have our grant program open right now. To apply for a grant, go to diversitysaves.org. You can fill in our short application, and if you are approved, we will move you along through our grant process. We are accepting grants until the beginning of March. Afterwards, we'll be doing a round of funding. Once again, my name is Daniel, co-founder and president of Diversity Saves, and thank you all so much for joining us, and I hope to see you again in about 2 hours. Everyone have a good day.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.